Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 25.
Says he's gonna talk quieter and begins by singing.
I mean, it's still quieter than my usual shout.
That's true.
It was a low belt, is what it was. Yes, the infamous session we're talking about. It's still surreal to me somehow that now we've been playing this as long as the other campaign. It feels way shorter for some reason. So, yeah, I'm kind of stoked about that. Yeah, and we will see whether or not history truly repeats itself.
Please don't.
But you are the fate weavers, so hopefully you can weave your fate in such a way that it doesn't repeat itself, right? Otherwise, you would have.
Let's just not go on any boats and we'll be fine.
If we find a boat in the middle of the forest, I have more questions.
We run.
Very subtle foreshadowing. There's a boat in the tree, just hanging there, with 4 other corpses. One of them has orange hair. The other one has Inquisition robes. The other one has a longbow. Also has scaly skin. See, I already planned it all out, so don't worry. Okay. Let's just get quickly to the introduction, starting off with...
I am Greg, and I am playing Eirik Spanner, the human artificer who, up until just recently, was surviving and has had a brush with the afterlife, but seems to be okay for now. So he's got something new to freak out about. See how that goes.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm playing Dr. Fiera from Kanan. She's both inner element and outer element in that she doesn't usually travel in small groups through a forest. She usually is protected by lots of soldiers who do things for her. But she loves doing the runes. Just without the demons.
Hi, I'm Skit, and I play Israel Leafina. Druid, now a little bit more cleric. Yeah, she's discovering some things about herself and her friends. And she's a little bit out of her comfort zone once again, but kind of happy to be out and about.
I'm Felicia. I'm playing Arya. Her whole world's falling apart. So she's just trying to make it day by day.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's all valid points, I would say. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything further to say, so might as well just jump right into the intro, as per usual. It's always sad to see people die. It really is. Rotten corpses infested with blight. The smell of burning flesh in the air. And the sight of your fellow friends heaped up in a pile. Burning away slowly and turning to ash. Really makes you start to think after a while, why the hell we even do this? It's not like we're getting anything from it anyways.
No. In fact, all we get is seeing our comrades die, day after day. To protect the people is what some of us tell ourselves. But I've learned that any excuse to convince oneself will eventually wear itself thin, and you'll have to desperately find a different lie to convince yourself of continuing on. So you can truly believe me when I say, this is nothing personal. My life just wasn't that great. And now I ended up here with you. But don't worry, it'll all be over for you shortly, and in a twisted way. I kind of envy you for that. I'm too scared to die. But someday I will. And I'll be happy when that day comes.
Yes. So, starting off with a quick recap. You guys arrived in Delis Solis, trying to get into the Zephyrus archives to find more about the predicament that you are in, which is, of course, that you are held by some sort of curse or something different, and there's a few things happened here and there as you were trying to look for different connections and more information. A few odd happenings did occur. One in particular, which was common, that Calix was showing up but trying to interfere with it, specifically Fiera, trying to get rid of his influence over Arya's mind, resulted in Fiera accidentally messing up Arya's mind. She then having to be sent to the hospital ward to be taken care of, and this did not only inflict some psychological damage onto Arya, but emotional damage onto Fiera, who has kind of lost her ways with her own magic, not trusting them anymore or herself to accurately or safely conjure them, and now insisting that someone else in the party take her arcane focus instead. But after kind of regaining yourself after this odd event, you try to look for the ties and connections which were given to you by Telding from Zunania, one of the professors who is a history professor that taught in Zunania, who you got to know is currently inside of Delis Solis, trying to investigate a ruin that seemed to be draconic in nature. And with a letter of introduction, you made contact with her, and it seemed like her expedition was kind of cancelled since all protection bands and military efforts were being focused inside of the cities. And so she had no one she could go with, and obviously didn't want to go alone in these woods. It's very dangerous. But since you seem to be interested and have something you can offer to her, and she obviously has something she can offer to you, you kind of made an agreement that if you kind of support her on this journey and keep her safe and bring her back, she will allow you entrance into the Zephyrus archives with her connections. And you also get to also just accompany her and study the ruins, which also seem to be somewhat linked with Isorel's history, and she seemed to be deeply curious about it, since it's somewhat related with some of the old fey courts which have been long lost. And so with that, you agreed, took your own preparations. Ender was sent on basically a summer camp expedition to join the Green Vanguard to be formally trained by the military there, or specifically the scout groups, which are very similar to Attack on Titan, but we shall ignore that. It's definitely original. And yeah, you made your way out the big lush forest of the Great Sevalon Woods. These enormous trees ranging over hundreds of feet above in the air with twisted trunks that just seem like hands sprawling out of the earth trying to reach the sun itself, kind of clambering the entire environment. The surface itself seems to be a little bit hilly with patches of grass and sunken lakes where past high storm waters gathered, and while you were traversing there you encountered one danger. Seems like a demonic entity was in the vicinity and unfortunately caught you a bit off guard. However, you dealt with it quite efficiently, while Eirik Blackley only being the only one to have suffered a fatal wound that knocked him out. But other than that, he was easily brought back to life through the powers of Israel, and you kind of continued your march. But Bashina didn't dare to, continue the journey for too long since you were a bit worn, and instead to halt and have a early rest instead of, risking traveling during sunset, since then the shadows grow larger and the threats grow bigger. So you kind of hunkered down between some roots. She casted a spell that would protect you from anything from the outside, at least while you were sleeping there, and kind of had a bit of a conversation where she was kind of inclining you all to, take efforts into your own hand if you wish to change stuff. She seems to be a very proactive person, advocating for if change should come, or if you wish for something to change, you have to take it into your own hands and shouldn't rely on other people. It's basically what she was trying to say. And with that, she kind of just lied down and tried to rest. I always say sleep, but I always forget that elves don't sleep. So she's just kind of, meditating, as well as the two other elves probably doing the same. Kind of hunkered up very closely inside of this small dome that she has created. So you're a bit close together. And you are resting. And during this rest, sleeping, just having a nice time, after 4 hours or so, Ari and Israel, you obviously kind of regain everything you get from a long rest. You feel relieved, kind of wake up, and you can also see Vashina already, just going through her stuff and prepping basically for, the next leg of the journey, and kind of just sees you also, come to consciousness and just kind of acknowledges that you are awake. Says, "So, what I have gathered is this is you don't often come out, is this correct?" Kind of talking to Isra and Aria, since you both are the only one who are awake.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right. Well, I am a bit curious why you would, I do not know your entire history, but it seems a bit strange for the people of the likes of you to go out of their way to go exploring some ruins. You said you had some deeper connections. I'm intrigued.
Yes. Although I was born into nobility and am expected to follow into my family's, mainly my father's footsteps, when I came to the archives to study diplomacy, I instead discovered more about what Azathia was before and who our people were before, and that really called upon me. And um let's just say that I fell into a rabbit hole, and um Servalon really spoke to me, um both literally and figuratively, and I've made it my life mission to help restore the weave and to discover more about the Fey courts and find them, basically.
This is a very noble cause you are going down. It's the first time I'm hearing about the magical weave dying. At least you make it sound like it's something that's going to happen any day now.
Maybe not any day, but it's definitely happening a lot faster than it should. Um, I have seen the weave. I have seen I have seen the moon also losing its light slowly but surely every single day. It's not something you can see happening, you know, it's not like someone just extinguishing a candle, like it's there and then it's gone. It's just slowly but surely going away, and I want to make sure that it never goes away, because the Fey Court is the entire base of our people, of our nation. I don't want them to disappear. I don't want us to lose who we are.
Yes, this obviously makes sense, but I presume you don't have a way. Well. First point of order, my first curiosity, of course, is what is causing the weave to die? Do you know this?
The the best way to explain it, at least from what I've read and what I've discovered, um, the fact, what feeds the weave is the fact that we are elves, and we were we have ancestry from the Feywild, and as you know, the weave is what meshes everything together. And once us elves started living our lives away from our ancestry, not using our natural talents for magical things, or uh, following different religions or things like that. We are slowly losing the connection that we had to the Feywild. At least that's what I'm understanding, and that's what I've read. Is it 100% accurate? These are very old tales, and that's why I want to find the Fey Court. That's why I want to see what needs to be done to save it, because from what I'm understanding, and from what I've read, it's basically our own fault. It's us turning our backs on our ancestry that is causing this.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, I definitely should put this into one of the research points. I didn't know that our ancestors had such deep connections, and obviously if the magical weave indeed is dying, as you say, think most of us in our group particularly will be quite upset if this would occur. I mean, my entire lifestyle is based around magic. Losing that would be quite inconvenient, to say the least. What about your friend, Arya, correct? What is your reason to accompany us in this odd circumstance?
I go wherever she goes. She's not allowed to go anywhere without me.
Right, so enlisted duty as a Inquisitor, I see.
Yes. And also lifelong friend.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's very lucky to have someone to look over you all the time.
She looks over me more than I look over her, to be honest.
I mean,
That's not true. Remember when we were in school and people would pull on my ears and you would beat them down and that I'm just giving back to you what you gave to me.
I appreciate that.
I mean, you have quite the keen minds, as I would expect from an Inquisitor. I think that will be extremely helpful as we continue on. Always keen eyes and ears are always very welcome while traveling these woods, you know. Anything could be hiding underneath any stone, corner, crack, or other bigger root. So, well, we might have missed the first threat that approached us, but we never know what will come the next few days. So, I am still glad that you came. So, you are only here because of your friends, no personal interests?
My mind's been kind of a mess lately. Like, I don't know. The only thing I know in life right now is that my friend needs me, and I'm gonna do anything for that. Everything else is like, it's hard. Like, my world is like crumbling, and everything is just a mess. And so, I tried to stick to one thing that I know that's constant.
That is very good.
I believe in some way Dr. Fiera's goals are at least tied into mine in some way. She probably has other motives that I'm not necessarily aware, but the few times we've talked about motives and stuff, and at least we seem to be at least on the same general page of it cannot die, we cannot let it die. Um, and as far as Eirik is concerned, if I was to take a guess, I think he's just trying to survive right now.
Him and I are on the same wavelengths.
Yes, seems like a few of you have larger goals, and the other of you have, well, very plain and simple goals. Would probably not hurt if you could maybe combine them both. You know, having big goals, of course, is very important to keep moving on forward. But if you don't have smaller steps that you can take, you will easily feel lost. And in a world this vast, I think being lost can be quite the predicament that you can find yourself in quite easily. So if maybe you can, you know, I think Eirik, while I'm not entirely a fan of how he sees things, has a level head, which is probably what has kept him alive this long. I mean, if you could maybe inspire.
It's more so in the lines that he doesn't like people interfering with his mind.
I mean, that is a very valid point. I also do not like other people interfering with my mind. I don't think anyone is particularly fond of anyone interfering with their minds.
Some
He's
people are more accepting that it's a necessary evil, And then there's Eirik that's just so against it that he's like, the thought of somebody coming near his mind is like running away in the opposite direction, like, don't come near me.
I mean, experience is the biggest key difference here. I presume you're obviously born with innate abilities, have a bit more experience, so you're used to it. Plus, I think what you coin as interference might also be a little bit different. For me, if I get a mental message, I do not see that as mental interference. I just see it as someone talking to me through magical means. It's like seeing an illusion. I do not say that someone's interfering with my vision, because he created a visual illusion. The same way goes for mental messages. It's not an interference with the mind. I can still think the way I think. It's just I have an added input that has been put there to inform me about different things.
Probably would have warmed up to those types of interference had a bad entity not erased him from pretty much existence. Honestly, I kind of understand his rebuttal to having anyone or anything speak to him in his mind, because the last time someone did that, his entire life just broke into shambles. So I tend to leave him alone and out of the mind stuff. I kind of understand where he's coming from.
Right, yes, you have talked briefly about this. Some forced trauma has occurred over your group. Well, but like I always say, it shouldn't keep you down. If anything, a trauma can make you stronger. So if anything, I do not... Well, it's always a difficult thing to talk about, whether or not you should, ignore it or embrace it. That is a personal decision, as I have stated last time, but... I mean, in the situation we are in right now, and we will be in the next couple of days, is we are out in the wilds, and I'd like to rely on people. Whether or not their past was bad or good, we are all the same in nature's eyes. If a beast comes, it doesn't care whether or not your parents left you alone, it will try and eat and kill you. So, what I'm trying to rely on are the skills, instincts, and experiences you have gained over the time that will allow us to survive and return safely. After that, you can solo on whatever sadness you have experienced, and maybe learn more. But while we're outside in the wild, I think we should all rely on each other, and think about the now, and maybe a bit about the future, but the past isn't relevant. The only past that is relevant is maybe the past that we will discover in the ruins.
You'll learn to appreciate his bluntness. He might sound like he refuses a lot, but he's very reliable. Probably one of our most reliable friends.
Well, I shall take your word on it then. Right. Well, we should probably check everything, that everything's still okay. I will have to look over some of my spells. And then she kind of takes out her spell book and then starts prepping for the day. Is there... Yeah?
I was just gonna say, through the entire conversation, I was getting my spells ready for the day.
Yeah, she's just gonna kind of sit there and do that. Is there anything over the next 4 hours you would like to do while the other two are still asleep? Or are you just gonna wait it out?
I'm going to climb up a tree and look around.
Okay, it is still dark.
Yes.
But you can definitely do that, so you kind of leave the bubble. Climb up a tree. I guess you can make an athletics check to try and climb up a tree. See if you
Yes.
succeed in doing so.
Yes. You said athletics. I'll take it.
Okay, it hasn't appeared yet. I don't.
Awesome.
Oh, now it's there. Okay, 18. Oh shit! Yeah, no problem. You kind of
I'll take it. I'll take it.
find it, and then you kind of start climbing up. Some of the bigger trees, the larger trunks kind of also go at an angle, so you can partially like crawl up them before you actually have to climb. So I think that's what you do. You go to one of these slanted trees, and you can see there's a thicker branch that you can reach by just crawling up, and that already gives you a high elevation. And with that that helps you kind of just, crawl up and then kind of get onto the branch. And now you have a very nice viewpoint, so you can make a perception check. 22.
I'll take it again.
Yes, very nice. Are you looking at or for anything specifically?
Mostly suspicious movements that would remind me of demons or possible attacking situation.
Okay, so threats basically.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so while it's kind of evening, you're scanning. There's a little bit of horizon that you do see that is obviously covered by brushes and bushes and trees. You see quite a lot of movement, and you know that the forest is also active in the evening, so you can see a few foxes and badgers that kind of jump out of their holes, and the other usual nocturnal animals that you would expect. One time you see a wolf that kind of comes by, but he kind of just goes away, doesn't seem to be interested or has noticed your group. Obviously you see probably like an owl that's just sitting next to you, that's been staring at you this entire time, just wondering why the human is next to him on a tree, and then he just flies away. Or actually, an owl doesn't make any sound, he just goes and floats away. But yeah, you don't see any larger threats, especially not of demon kinds, that are kind of lurking in the area while you are perched up on this branch, and you feel pretty safe, at least. And you can see that most of the forest is illuminated by the moonlight, so you have a decent view of everything. Kind of taking you back to the first time you went here. You know, probably you did the same thing. You didn't know how to survive, so the first thing you probably did was just climb on some random ass tree, hoping that whatever was beneath you couldn't reach you. And just looking out in the evening while the moon was shining, listening to every cracked branch or any howling noises from distant animals. But alas, nothing seems to approach. Then I guess, Arya, is there anything you would like to do specifically?
I'm just kind of like sitting like crisscross applesauce and just like keeping an ear out like for everything around me, and just trying to keep like my mind calm.
Kind of.
Like not full meditating because I want to be fully aware of like everything that's going on around me.
Yes. Yeah, you can also make just a perception check if you want. Kind of specifically in your space that you're residing. 15. Yes. Yeah, it's kind of sitting there, and now, after having another day of rest, leaving your mind to kind of, digest everything that has happened in the last 24 hours, you feel better. Like your mind is becoming healthier. You realize the kind of dissonant migraine that was at the back of your mind this entire time while you were traveling has now almost fully dissipated, so you aren't struggling with a headache anymore. And it seems like your kind of psionic abilities aren't like relying on the pills that you were taking any longer, and you kind of feel back adept at what you can do, and probably during a meditation you kind of just maybe open one eye and then try to summon one of your psionic blades, and then it appears, kind of smoking a bit with the white purplish color that it usually does. And kind of grip it for a moment, feeling its comfort once again, since you know that is what you've trained for, and it disappears in your hand again, as it usually does. Kind of, you're back confident, and you feel stronger and healthier despite everything that has happened. And yeah, but you don't hear anything that approaches your little hideout. Then,
In excitement, I would look around for Azrael, trying to see if I could find her.
yeah, if you kind of leave the bubble that Vashina's created with your passive perception, you can definitely kind of see Azrael on one of the tree branches, just kind of sitting there and looking around as well.
Azrael! Azrael!
Yep. What?
Look! And I like make my blade go in my hand. And I start waving my hand with my blade.
Ooh. Awesome.
I'm getting
That's
better!
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I'm starting to feel again.
I'm glad. I'm happy you're getting better. I was worried.
Find anything interesting up there?
Wildlife. Nothing out of the ordinary. We're the odd ones out.
Okay. And then I start walking back. Be safe. And I start walking back to the bubble.
Okay. You
I'm
return to the bubble.
surprised I haven't seen any squirrels that I could beast shape into, because it's not in the list.
Oh, you definitely would have seen squirrels. Like, yeah, I think you would even commune with a squirrel. I mean, you can add that to your B-ship if you want.
It doesn't exist in the list.
Oh, okay, probably.
Yeah.
They don't have a specific stat for it. It will probably just use the stat of the
Yeah.
rat. So,
Okay, cool. I'll keep a mental note of that, because if I'm climbing trees, I'm definitely going to be using my squirrel form
yes.
rather than my athletics, which is absolute poop.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, then Aria,
Anyways,
you return to the bubble, see Irik and Fiera still sleeping there. Fiera, you are sleeping in the comfort of this bubble. What do you usually dream about?
Oof. The Fiera's dreams. I think before this trip started, they were pretty normal. Nothing like she's had lately. Mostly a combination of memories or like even just like new dreams with her current, mom and brother. Or even like memories where she's working with professors she knows, back at the castle or at one of the ruins. Um, Pretty normal stuff.
Yeah, and I think this time wouldn't be much different. It's kind of like you don't see much color as you're kind of walking around, and you kind of just become a bit aware that you are, dreaming a little bit, so you're kind of semi-lucid. You can see a very strong cracked foundation of what seems to be like a building that has collapsed. There's a lot of smoke in the air, and then you kind of instinctively start coughing in reaction to it, as your kind of dreamscape body still seems to be reacting to the physical environment around here. So kind of, moving around here just out of instinct, looking at things. What would you like to do as you're kind of in a huge, still like a kind of a crevice? You can see left and right of you are, dark grey canyon walls, and in front of you there seems to be a collapsed building. A great sense of interest naturally comes over you as someone who delves into ruins, but yeah, what would you like to do?
So you know how there's kind of a separation of how you think in a dream and how you kind of think in real life?
Oh yeah.
Am I thinking like I would in a dream where I naturally just do what I would do, or is it more like I'm aware in this dream that this isn't the reality I'm used to?
It's like I described, you like kind of semi-lucid, those things where you
Semi, okay.
kind of like know what you're doing, but you don't have like full control.
Okay. I think just naturally I would start just moving, probably toward anything of recognition. Like I said, it kind of seemed like it was a ruined building. That seems like a good place to move toward.
Okay, yeah, you kind of go further. At this point you can hear some distant rain. It's almost like your dream is now kind of fully creating the world around you. First it started off with the crevices and the canyon walls, then it started to create these broken walls, and as you kind of get in, step closer, it's like your dream is rendering and you're kind of seeing it lifetime, and then the kind of rain gets heavier, and as you look above you, still there's like a big huge plume of smoke that just suddenly appears, and then through the smoke you can feel the raindrops and now hear like a distant storm that has kind of probably passed over a few hours ago, but the remnants of the rainy clouds still hang over this area. And as you kind of get closer to this building, you can see clothes lying on the floor, but they're being worn, as you then realize that there are a lot of bodies just lying around here across this broken ruin.
Great. I'd probably check if I recognize who they belong to. Like, what place is this? What kind of people are they?
Make an investigation check as you kind of step closer to one of them.
I wouldn't touch them.
Okay.
Push trolls always slow. 2 for a 10.
You kind of...
There's smoke.
Yeah, it's hard to see, and you know how when you're in a dream, like I said, it's like semi-lucid, so everything's like still swirling and there aren't like definite shapes that you can make out of. You can see that most of them are like wearing plate armor, but some of them have like dark robes and stuff like that on, all kind of sprawling about. Seems like some sort of battle took place here. You can see that the earth is also, you know, some of the blood of the fallen have pulled around some areas, but you can't see any distinctive marks or features that would make you recognize them to be from somewhere particularly or specifically.
Let's see, if I can, I'll get, I guess, a little bit away from the building and the smoke, and actually just look up, like what kind of storm is making this rain.
Make a perception check.
Say it.
Oh my god. Which also makes sense. You're looking straight up while it's raining, sitting down,
It's
so
raining, sure.
some of the rain kind of hits your eyes, so yeah, you don't see much. And like I said, it's a big plume of smoke, so you can't really see the storm itself. Yeah. So you're kind of just blinded for a quick second and you don't see anything.
Yeah, I'll start yelling out, hello? Hello? And I'll probably go through like different languages too, like go through Elvish and like, hello, is anybody out there? Then go Dwarven, is anyone, can anybody hear me? You know, I'll probably just cycle through languages.
Yes, you kind of cycle through, you speak out, you can hear your own voice kind of echoing through this weird scape. And as you kind of, go further in to try and find anyone that is there, you then start to see more forms appear. As it seems like the further in you step, the more, like I said, the surrounding is somewhat rendering basically, and more figures appear. As you're walking around, you then start to see like 2 figures kind of just pass by you, and then a third one, fourth, fifth. They all seem to be wearing kind of like darkened robes and clothes, and then you can see 50, 20, 30, an entire large group kind of marching now just past you, and you can see that they are going through you. And as you're kind of shouting out, they don't seem to be able to react to you, or they aren't reacting to you, since they aren't able to hear you, you would guess. And you realize that this is a army kind of county just marching through this broken wall, going through. And then in front of you, you see there is a figure, very particular. Seems to, you only see the back of his head, doesn't have any hair. Is wearing almost like religious robes, but they're kind of darkened. He has like a overset dress of white robes, and underneath it very black robes, with kind of somewhat religious iconographies that you don't really recognize, have never seen before, but they're a bit mixed with Holy Litany symbols around it. But what kind of takes your attention mostly are 3 crooked horns that come out of his head. And they aren't symmetrical in any way, they just seem to be kind of coming out of random spots and just have grown there. As the kind of army is like marching past him, and he just seems to be standing there, and you see the back of it. As you kind of look at him and look at what is going around you, you can see the figure in front of you then kind of turn around and then look you directly into the eyes. You can see completely there where the eye white is completely black. A deep yellow orangish glow for its pupils, and has like weird black markings that go down its face and from its eyes. And it just kind of stares at you.
Run or face your problems. I'm already in this problem. I will walk up to the figures so we're standing face to face.
Yes, as you walk further, more of the environment starts to appear and render. And you can see different shapes now moving further beyond where he is standing. And the kind of smoke gets a little bit lighter as you kind of went through the main bulk of where the smoke was. And you can see just these large entities kind of just lumbering forward. You can see weird devices that are being carried and pulled away from you. And on the left and right, on the floor where the army is marching over, you can see more of these figures who have plated armor on, lying on there. The only difference you can see is that the robed figures all are adorned in some kind of black robes, while the armored figures that are lying down, seemingly slain, have a very white and silver outshine to them, as is also reflected from the bit of light that comes through here, and you stand then in front of this figure. What do you do?
I guess first, my left hand would kind of go to my arm. Do I feel my pocket watch?
Kind of grab there. You don't have your pocket watch since you gave it to Iric.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping this wasn't real, but this is reality, isn't it?
You then start to hear a voice coming from the man as his mouth moves, and he says, "Finally! Took you some time, didn't it?" Then you hear a voice behind you. "I am sorry, it took some dealing with." As you look behind you, you realize he wasn't looking at you. You were just standing where someone else was standing behind you. As the figure then goes past you, and as he does so, you're taken back and the dream ends and you kind of wake up normally, hearing the forest sounds around you once again.
Yeah, I quickly get up, grab my things, and leave the tent. I don't look at anyone.
Okay, the bubble is about this time would also start to disappear since it's only 8 hours. And Iric, you would also wake up. And as you wake up, you don't have any strange dreams, Iric, unless, you have. But you can feel something weird on your chest.
Is it like a burn, scratchy? Is it wet? Is it a force? What does it feel like specifically?
It feels like, at first you'd not sure what it is, but now this is going to be very specific. But do you know how you can sometimes feel your veins? Like something is beneath your skin?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that.
Okay. And he'll kind of shake himself awake and take a look around just to see if everyone he knows is still around.
I think only Vashina's currently around since everyone else left.
Right. Where'd everybody go?
Good morning to you too. I think Azathia
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Yeah.
just went out to, I don't know, spend some more time with nature. I think Arya. Oh no, Ari would also be here since she came back. I forgot. So Ari would be there, and Fiera just woke up and kind of gathered her things and then just left in a rush.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Is everyone okay? We made it through the night.
Yes, and at this time, the bubble disappears. Seems like we were completely undisturbed.
Okay. Interesting.
You're feeling alright?
No, I don't think. I don't. It's probably nothing. It's probably just from, carryover from yesterday. I've never come that close to
Death?
Yeah. So is it normal to feel things after the fact? Like,
Well, I would say yes. Everyone takes it a little bit differently. Some people feel some things, some people don't.
well, I guess I'll just have to try to walk it off for now, and I'll maybe see if it gets better as maybe once we just get going and start doing something, it'll ease up.
Alright, and you are prepared?
For what?
I mean, for what we are about to do.
Yeah, I'm as prepared as I was yesterday, and I frankly at that point I don't think I was prepared. So, no, I'm not prepared.
Well, then maybe take 10 minutes to try and get prepared before we go, because only an unprepared fool will go out in danger.
I don't know what to do to prepare that I can't. I don't. I don't have anything really. Just kind of gather my things again, and I'll go and look at my arcane focus. And has any of the shadowy stuff that Fiera did to it changed, or has it gone away?
Yeah, I would say that it kind of dimmed out and just kind of vanished over the course of the night, since the influence was just briefly there.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. I don't really want to have that happen again. I don't like her. It, it's very dark what she does.
Yes, innately so. Shadow magic, for the most part, is dark.
Yeah.
Yes, it is dangerous magic to tamper with. I'm surprised that she knows how to use it. It's a very rare type of magic that you don't usually see out in the open.
Yeah, just don't really want to see much of it. You know, uh, what I have seen of her has been terrifying. Um, it just makes this whole journey quite a bit more I guess complex. Yeah, I just I'm still trying to wrap my mind around what all is happening in my life.
Well, I mean, they say that expeditions and trips are the best way to get to know people better. So maybe this is a great opportunity to maybe learn more about your friends, and maybe, you know, the dark parts can get enlightened, and maybe you can maybe understand whatever fear is doing a bit more, so it doesn't scare you as much. I, for one, if I don't like something, I try to learn about it, and once I know what I'm dealing with, at least I can try and come up with a plan of action, if it is required.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It just all of my sort of uh, involvement with magic has been in very confined, sort of controlled spaces, doing very specific tasks and learning under under the watch of very intelligent and protected means and people. And so just being out in the middle of nowhere now is just it's a complete change from what I'm used to. And um I mean, you seem to be quite powerful
Well,
too, so it's kind of just I feel, I guess I just feel a little or a lot underpowered compared to the rest of you.
I wouldn't necessarily say so. Plus, you cannot compare, well, the time you've spent doing arcane practices to mine. I've obviously been doing it for a long time. However, you have a very specific set of skills, which will be extremely useful. You got the reference.
I'm sorry.
That will be and come extremely useful in the future. In fact, I am the only... Well, let's just say I'd like to use this trip to not only maybe teach you about the raw side of things. You seem to have mostly dealt with very manufactured magics, controlled environment, as you say. However, knowing where these ones not so manufactured magics come from can give you major insight on maybe things that you can conjure, build. Nature is one of your best inspirations, as I think most poets and artists like to say. So maybe use this as a way to fuel this. Put it into an environment that you are comfortable with. I think we will encounter many things out in the wild that you can take a few notes of. And maybe we might even find something that you can use in your future endeavors. You are a mind that is set on tasks. If you don't have a proper task, I think you'll get stressed out very easily.
That's very true. You nailed that one for sure.
So, how about I give you a little task? So, if you maybe become a bit uncomfortable, you can set your mind on something.
Yeah, actually, that sounds. I mean, that's exactly what I'm used to.
Very well. Well, since you, I presume, like to build stuff, just looking you up and down, and since you haven't been a lot in nature, how about you, in the course of this trip, try and make a design for something that is natural inspired? I don't know what it is. It can be a charm. It can be some sort of machination, transportation, maybe a little bird. Anything that you get inspired by, and at the end of it, you can present it, and maybe we can make a work in progress out of it.
I like that. That's that sounds reasonable for sure. Yeah. No. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I understand. Well, not fully, but partly how you feel. I was once young too, and then put into places where I didn't feel very comfortable. One thing that always helped my very inquisitive mind is, as long as I have something to inquire about, I will be put at ease. And I saw the same kind of fidgety behavior in you, and I've noticed talking with your friends, you kind of came out here without any plan, and I think that's why you are a bit unhinged.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And maybe if you're already designing something, maybe something that will actually help you, then you're also double productive, since maybe you can utilize it in a way that can aid in the future as well.
No, I mean, it's been kind of my, you know, I can't remember the word. What am I looking for right now? My,
Ambition?
no, not quite. My,
Objective? Goal?
yeah, I guess objective. It is trying to create things that are going to be useful for individuals, and for their work, or for their safety or protection or entertainment. It just seems like building things specifically for a purpose, and not just doing it for the sake of doing it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes. Purpose is a strong drive. Definitely understand that.
Yeah.
Well, I think you have gained a lot of purpose, specifically the last 24 hours, which is to survive longer and not to be attacked by any more demonic entities.
That's absolutely correct.
So, one thing that will also help you, I think, is obviously if you put your task out to help other people, there are a lot of other people. My recommendation would be make something that will help you. If it will help you, it will most definitely also help other people. But you know what you need help for. You do not know what other people necessarily need help for.
That's very true.
Right. Well, I think you have enough brain candy to think about, and I will be excited to see maybe a few of your designs at the end of this trip.
Hopefully I can live up to whatever impression you have of me.
No, I do not have any impression. Do not be stressed about that. I just wish you to be occupied. If you're occupied, if you produce anything, that will be more than sufficient enough. This is a, let's say, a task for you to get used to. Maybe if, you don't have someone like me in the future, you can give yourself own tasks. Don't necessarily always need someone else to tell you to do something. Right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. That's kind of been how I've gotten to this point, though, is people telling me to do something.
Yes, and you have now ended in a situation you do not like to be in. So maybe if you take matters into your own hands, this might not happen as often anymore.
Yeah. Well,
You'll do just fine, believe me. It's a road we all must go down. And I will hope that you'll be a stronger and better man at the end of it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
No, I always like to help people who are a bit stuck sometimes. It's a curse that has been put on our society since we left the wilds. That's what I say. We sometimes become too comfortable, and once we are placed in an uncomfortable position, we kind of huddle up and cry. But we forgot that we have the power to stand up for ourselves. And I need you, and hopefully everyone else someday, to realize that we can take matters in our own hands.
Yeah. I'll just go over and shake her hand.
Yeah, shakes it. A firm shake as well. Alright, well, let's gather the others. Don't want to spend too much time diddling about here. We have a rune to find. One steps out, kind of just claps her hands. Everyone, if you could maybe come back, please. We are preparing to continue our journey. And I presume you all gathered back together as a group. And she continues to lead on. So, first of all, I need someone to roll a d20. I see people are very excited to roll this d20.
I'll do it.
Oh, I just hit it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's low.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Now I need someone to roll a d100.
I'll take care of it. I need to get my brain out of everything that's.
Okay. Now I need one of you to roll a d8.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, Greg.
Hang on. E8. Roll.
Okay. So you continue your trek through the Great Servalon Woods, and Vashina kind of like half tour guidey, kind of maybe like points out a few things here and there, kind of like saying like how this tree grows and what the natural aspects are, how they are able to actually get this big, stating that most of them are, this forest is one of the few forests that have survived after the Angelic War. Most other things were kind of completely obliterated and then kind of regrown as part of it. However, these forests were kind of survived the kind of cataclysm that took place there, which is why they are very, very, very old and very, very sturdy. Also, pointing out that some of them have like bit innate magical powers inside of them. So some druids can even harness power out of them, and some very proficient workers, and she kind of talks with you about that, but Eric can kind of use the wood to carve specific wood things that can have better or like potent magical properties if used correctly. However, that is a very crafty skill. Not everyone is able to do it, but if you ever need wood to build something, usually the bark of one of the Great Severlon Great Woods trees is usually used for that kind of stuff. As you're kind of walking around, you notice after maybe like a 4-hour trek that the environment is changing a little bit, and you can see more rocky areas and an incline starts to appear as you're starting to get closer to what seems to be like a more hilly area, a more rocky area. And you go to the map. She will also point out as she kind of takes it out, kind of shows that you are now kind of approaching one of the hills inside of the Great Severlon Wood. Putting it down here, where the terrain is a bit more unstable, kind of, suggesting you to, for the most part, keep watch on where you're treading, since it can be quite dangerous if you aren't careful. And also kind of points out, as she kind of goes specific ways, that this route has been taken a couple of times, and the last time she went here, she kind of used the route where she kind of, her and a troop, first expedition troop, kind of built like a few bridges, and after a while you do actually see like sets of bridges that kind of cross this hilly area to make the path a bit more accessible. Okay, is there anything specific you would like to do on your journey? As I always ask.
Not that I can think of. Just my normal looking around.
Then you can do your normal perception checks.
And I would probably be tracking the movement of different wildlife that would indicate imminent danger.
Okay, I can also make perception check for that.
Could I use my survival?
Oh yeah, you can definitely use your survival.
Awesome. Perfect.
Oh, that's 9.
Nope.
I think at one point I would try to kind of buddy up next to Eirik. Maybe when we're like, taking a break or something, and see if he's up for the convo. And away from everybody else, though. I would try to get him alone. There you go.
Ooh,
Alone-ish.
alone in the woods. Yeah.
Like, hey, Eirik, look at this tree. Wouldn't that make a good staff? Let's go look at it.
Oh man, I give you like a weird like. What? They're all
see?
trees. They're all the same.
Yeah, but this one, and I'll like take your sleeve. This one's kind of pretty.
What's wrong?
So I'm sorry about yesterday. I could have helped you, but I was too scared, and you got hurt, and I could have helped.
Oh,
You almost died, and I specifically have spells to help people when they're in that situation. I'm sorry.
so was it? Is it because of me that you didn't want to help?
No, it's just, I hurt Arya really badly. Really, really badly. And I was scared I'd hurt somebody else too while he's in my head.
Right.
So that's why I
Yeah.
tried to use a sling, but it immediately broke. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I mean, I suppose no harm, no foul. I mean, I,
there was harm.
I'm, well, yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking maybe tonight we could. I want to replicate the result I had earlier, and that's going to take experimentation. I was hoping you could help, or maybe Israel can help too. We need to learn more.
Yeah.
I,
I'd
I,
say we
I
need to learn a
promise
lot.
I won't do anything to you all. I'll purely experiment on myself, on the mark.
I just is forgive me because I still have no idea about how this sort of like natural magic works. Is it a good idea to just be experimenting in the middle of the magical woods?
Well, if you have a magical tower at your disposal, then you could bring me to it, and we could.
Ex- what?
There's no good place out here, but we need to learn more because I need to be able to cast my magic so that we
Yeah,
don't die.
that's yeah, good point. Ugh. Yeah,
But yeah, I'm sorry.
no, no, it's okay. I
Your
mean,
wand works really well, though.
well, yeah, it's the one thing that I've spent the most time on. Making it work that nicely. So I hope
Yeah,
it worked.
it
Did
was
you just not touch it again, though?
so my favorite ask. Do you mind if I send a message home? I just want to check, make sure everybody's okay.
Is it gonna do the black stuff again?
Um, I won't be trying to manipulate time or reality. I just want to send a message.
Eh, yeah. All right.
Okay, I'll
I
take
am
it.
watching very closely to make sure nothing's like no funny business.
Yeah, I'm literally just holding it in front of me like it's a sword I've been presented. And I'll try to send a message. This is gonna be a different one. So I don't remember his actual name. I don't know if I got it. To the Metropolitan from Zelna's Castle in God in Fimberdeus.
In Fimbodeus.
Because me and my mom met him before we left.
Yeah, that is Saint Thomas Aquinas.
St. Thomas Aquinas. Cool. So yeah, I will send it to him. And I'll try to say, Your Holiness, Metropolitan Aquinas, it's Fiera, Mark's and Ariel Kron's daughter. Has something happened at the gate? I can't get a hold of my brother. Feels dark.
Okay. There's a brief pause. And then you hear a response.
Young Fiera, it is greatly troubling. The gate has fallen, and our city is currently under siege. I give up prayers to your brother. I am sorry.
And the message ends.
I think Eric sees tears start to well up. I give you the wand. Thanks. And I head down. I just walk a random direction. Probably not back to the
What?
party.
What's wrong?
Yep. She's walking off.
And just put it back in my holster and follow Fiera back to the group.
He said our city is under siege, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Oh.
On a point of order, I will also say, since you kind of mentioned the mark, and I presume you would have then also looked at it, doesn't seem to be bleeding anymore. Seem to have been slightly healed. And on that point also, you haven't felt the presence Calyx in like more than 24 hours, which is like the first time. Okay. How random was that?
What the hell?
The dead are talking with us.
Oh,
Dead
dead?
Namira?
What the fuck?
Campaign
What?
1 coming back.
I love how it just says dead.
Oh no. We're attacking. We're undead demons attacking. Come on.
Our former selves attacking us.
Come on.
Oh man.
I'm very sorry. I did not think about what I was doing, and it seems like the dead are speaking with us right now.
We might join them soon here.
Oh my god. I'm an absolute mess. I'm very sorry.
No, you're good.
That's
No
all
worries.
right.
And
I think we're all about to join you.
as you're kind of, you know, Eric, you're kind of reapproaching the group. Aria, you keep an eye and ear out. Vashina still coming in front of you, and you know, Helm in the group. You suddenly hear a from the right of you, as you then kind of look, but you can just see, you know, the hill, a stone cliff wall that is there. And from within it, you just can hear a as then out of the wall itself, a form comes just lumbering out of it, and then in a brief moment you can just see a bunch of smoke just covering your eyes, and you can see Vashina kind of get a bit caught in it, but she kind of just dodged out of it in the last second, as she kind of also healed it just in time, as now in front of you, covered in kind of dust and some of the debris out of the wall, you just see this big insectoid creature, very amber and yellow kind of outer exoskeleton with large mandibles and these big two orangish glowing eyes that kind of look at you. It has a weird kind of, you know, kind of beetle-like body, but it's walking on two legs, and it has big claws with which it's just kind of buried outside of the wall, and it's just kind of looking at you. And then tries to bite at Vashina, who is nearest at you. Unexpected attack. You all have to roll initiative, but because Ari, you kind of noticed it approach, it doesn't get a surprise round and didn't manage to catch any of you. But this guy is here as you were kind of walking idly. Fiora, you're a bit behind. Irik, you were kind of reapproaching the group. And it is just in front of one of the bridges you were about to cross. Holy shit, they all came at the same... No, that's not true. Did I not delete it from last time? I apparently didn't. Okay,
I didn't see my token, so I rolled it. My bad.
Okay, no worries. You got a 22. Fiora has a
Natural
19.
22.
Yeah, that'll plus 6.
Oops, I accidentally had Fiora twice. 22. Who isn't? Irik. Did you roll already? 21.
Yeah.
Man, holy shit! Man, what is this initiative order? Insane.
19, 20, 21, 22.
Been ready this time around.
Yeah, literally. Then let's see if Ashina also. Nope, she got an 8. I mean, you can't have everything, I guess. And let's see our big insect creature, what it will get. A 19.
Wow.
Man, this is like all around freaking good initiative. What's your dex?
So funny enough, my initiative is based off my intellect and dex.
Oh.
And the two when I do initiative.
Oh yes.
So I'm at a plus 6.
Then you'll definitely go before this dude. Then, Aria, what would you like to do? So I kind of move this to where it's supposed to be so that people can see. Yes.
Let's see. So I'm going to go there. And then because our little friend is right there, if I hit, I would get my sneak attack damage, so that's exciting. That's probably not gonna hit.
Yeah, unfortunately. A 8 will miss.
I'll try for my bonus action, because either way, if I hit, I at least do the damage, so we'll see.
Yep.
Oh, no, that's the same. Oh, no, it's a little better.
Oof. So that's an 8 and a 10 will unfortunately not hit. This creature's exoskeleton seems to be too thick as you kind of pierce it with your psychic blades, but it seems to be able to resist them quite easily. Is there anything else you would like to do?
So let's see, I moved 5 feet up. Nope, that's all I'm doing.
Ooh, actually one thing I forgot, you actually have to do a charisma saving throw because you started your turn within 30 feet of him.
Charisma saving throw?
Yes, a charisma saving throw. It's a 19. Okay, nothing happens. So luckily for that, otherwise this would be a bit awkward. But you kind of get like a weird sense that comes over your head as you kind of look inside of this creature's eyes. And as you do, you can just see these kind of weird hypnotic patterns start to appear inside of the eyes that are trying to influence your mind, but you just kind of easily brush it off. Your mental fortitude a bit stronger. Doesn't influence you, but it probably confused you to enough of an agree that you kind of just missed your strikes and it was a bit weird, and nothing else happens, then if you don't do anything else, that will then take us.
Can I yell out, "Don't look in its eyes"?
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
So yeah, Arya just yells out, "Don't look in its eyes!"
Quick question.
Yes.
Because that could have it. Is it a charm effect?
No, it's not a charm effect. No.
Okay, cool. Just wanting to know, because Felicia, don't forget, we have advantage against charms.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's why I asked. That's all I wanted to
Yep,
clarify.
good looking out, but no, it's not.
No problem.
Then bring us to Eirik. What would you like to do? Oh, first of all, you have to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, Jesus, this is not gonna go well.
Hey, I only had a +1.
That's a 13. It's unfortunately a
+5. +5. I'm using my ability.
Yes, a flash of genius as you hear the genius words of Arya to kind of just avert your gaze a bit. It still seems to influence you a bit, but kind of you shrug it off easily after just, kind of closing your eyes for a brief second. The influence a bit there, but it kind of just then dissipates after a weird time as you also start seeing these weird hypnotic patterns coming from his eyes. But you aren't affected with an 18.
What the fuck? I'm gonna back up and tuck myself around this little corner of rock, and as an action, I'll pull out my my hand cannon. I'll quickly attach my red cone to it to signify fire. I'll attach the red wires together, and I will throw it up. And can it land on these rocks, or is it like a steep cliff?
Since you always describe it as a hand, I will allow it to just kind of hold on to it.
Ah, fantastic. Okay, so I'll put it'll just kind of land just on the space in front of me.
Okay, I guess I should have. Actually, do I have a turret icon? I don't think so. Okay, I will look quickly for an image that I can use as that. But yeah, anything else you would like to do on your turn?
Nope.
Okay, then that will bring us to Isorel. You will also have to make a charisma saving throw.
Alright.
The 20, easily enough, man. These high rolls. You also look kind of briefly into its eyes. The hypnotic patterns start to take effect, but not before you can just once again close your eyes long enough for it to just disappear, not having any effect at all.
Alright. So, I'm going to take a few steps back and go right here. And as my action, I'm going to activate my emboldening bond. So I can choose up to 3 willing creatures. So I'm obviously choosing my 3 friends. As long as you stay within 30 feet of me, you have an extra D4 added to an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw you make once per turn.
Very nice. Okay.
Yes.
Anything else you would like to do?
Yes. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast.
Don't forget.
Shield up. Yes.
2 spells.
Oh, right. Oh, is that considered a spell? Because it's my. It's one of my. Yeah, it's My emboldening bond is an ability from my druid. Not my druid, sorry, my cleric class.
Yeah, okay, no, I thought you casted a spell. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not a spell. It's one of my actions that I can do as a cleric.
Yes.
So then, as a bonus action, I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on oh, come on. My bestest friend in the whole wild world that I forgot her name.
Oh, yeah.
Arya. Right. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's all. That's all I do.
Yes, very, very nice. And remember that bond. And to update Eric, you can see the turret in front of you. You can also move it. I know it's a sci-fi dual gun turret, but it will do.
It works.
Taking us then to Fiera's turn. As this big large insect, you also have to make a charisma saving throw, but with a plus
D4. Sure.
Yeah, a D4.
Charisma save first. Don't think it'll help.
Yep. That is unfortunately a failure.
So 6 doesn't make it.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, so you are bewildered from the get-go of the...
I'm pretty out of it. So.
Yeah. So you kind of just stare blankly, and then this thing appears, and then you kind of just don't react to it at all, and just kind of continue to stare into its weird eyes as these hypnotic patterns kind of take over you, making you completely confused on what's going on. So you will have to roll a d8 to determine what you're going to do in your confused state.
Gosh. Yeah, a D8.
Yes.
4.
4. You just kind of stand there and just look plainly in the air, and you do absolutely nothing. And
Nice and relaxing. Perfect.
yeah, that ends your turn. And you also can't take reactions while in the state. And I find it so funny because exactly now, when you're doing nothing, your camera is frozen.
Oh. Of course.
I was gonna say.
There.
Oh, I should have just left this. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said I'm very out of it, and your camera stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, those are the keywords.
Okay. Unfortunately, you can't do anything. Bringing us to the big, large, bulking figure who will attempt to... He will claw at Vashina and at you, Arya. Once. Which... Let's see if he succeeds. With a natural 20... Oh, I didn't designate. I said
Here we go.
Vashina first, right? So Vashina takes a hit.
so.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means, well, it's only 14. She will use her reaction to kind of create, once again, this magical barrier around her with 4d10 plus 4, and see if that's enough. 4d10 to negate the damage. Yeah. Kind of creates this barrier, and then as it kind of slams, just slams against the barrier, not affecting her at all. And then the other claw attack will go against you, Arya. Holy shit. Man, you can't make this... Holy fuck. That's the exact same roll twice. Yo, Yo. Man, the probability of that happening is like...
Yeah, it's like 1 in several thousand.
Yeah, holy shit.
I would say like millions.
Yeah, to get... Holy... Okay, well, I guess... Oh, it's less, so you only take 13 points
Well,
of
can
damage.
I use my reaction for uncanny dodge
Yeah.
where I can have the attack's damage against me?
Absolutely, you can.
So then that would make it how much damage?
6. Only 6. slashing damage as it comes over you. Or as your nimble body, you kind of dodge last minute, only to scrape the surface of your body, not making it into flesh wound. But the last thing it would do is take its huge mandibles to kind of chomp into you. This one, he will once again target you, Arya, since you were the one who kind of assaulted him first. So he sees you as the aggressor. Oh man, if it was 28 and 12 again, I would have lost my mind. But it's not. And you will take 17 slashing damage from the mandibles as they kind of dig deep into your sides, biting you there.
17? Oh man.
Yes. And once he does that, the next thing he will do is... Would he actually? Kind of go back into the wall and start burrowing back inside to kind of, seeing that you are a lot of people, avoid getting, you know, overwhelmed since you're way more than him. So he's currently kind of the hole that he left behind, he kind of goes back into, and then some of the debris kind of falls back down. So he's currently in a 5-foot wide tunnel. So if anyone would like to follow him, you can only go there one at a time. Vashina's turn now. Oh, you get attack off. No, you don't, since you used your reaction. And Vashina also doesn't get, because she also used a reaction to attack this dude. Vashina, the first thing she will do is actually cast Mage Armor on herself. Kind of get her AC a little bit higher. And she says, this is Amber Hulk. I think we can take care of this relatively easily. It isn't a demon, so we don't have to worry about any blight. I should have warned you before, but they frequent these hills. Kind of like to attack out of the unexpected high areas. As she kind of steps here. And she will say, I will support you as best as I can. We'll roll a d6 to see if she gets a reaction back. On a 3, I don't think she does. So that's the end of her turn, bringing us back to Arya.
Back to me.
Already? Yes.
So can I see into like where he burrowed?
Oh
from
yeah,
that?
yeah, it's still like a fairly decently big tunnel. You can easily fit inside of it. It's just if there are multiple people, it would be a very tight fit.
So I don't want to try to go in. I'm going to use my Mind Sliver cantrip. So it has to take an intelligence saving throw of 14.
Okay. This guy obviously isn't very intelligent. Let's see if it rolls. Did it roll? No. Didn't? Now it did. A 1!
Oh!
So it miserably fails. So what?
Ooh, max damage.
Oh, nice. 12 psychic damage going against this guy. Anything else that affects him? As he...
Can I use my bonus action to attack with my extra blade?
I think only if you...
Oh no, it says after you attack with your psychic blade. Okay, so I can't.
Yes. Okay. Are there any further effects from psychic? Your mind sliver.
Oh, the
Oh yes. You subtract 1d4.
Yeah, from their next saving throw.
Okay.
Before the end of my next turn.
Yes. Okay,
That's
then.
handy.
Wish to stay there? Don't want to move?
Just back up a little bit so I'm not like right in front of the tunnel.
Okay, bring us into Irig.
Okay. So if I put my my cannon in that square right there, would I be able to see into the, or would it be able to see into the tunnel?
Here?
Right, just above you.
Here. I'll say it would have to be here to look in, since he kind of went like this.
Damn. Okay.
I mean, you can carry your turret 5 feet in front, and you would be able to make it. Like, you can literally just,
Yeah.
if you wanted to, like.
I'm just trying to not put myself towards the
Yeah,
the hole. That's
yeah. I mean, you can just move your turret 5 feet, and then you can stay here, and then your turret can move 15 feet in front.
Oh, true. Good point.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm gonna do that then. So I'll send the turret scurrying up to the hole in the wall, and I'm gonna activate it and cast flamethrower,
Okay.
I guess. However that's called. Yeah, flamethrower. So
Yeah.
it's Dex 16.
Okay, you know what? I will give him disadvantage since he is currently bowing, and he literally doesn't really have a space he could dodge to. So I will impose disadvantage because of that. Making it a 5. I think Isa would have failed anyways.
Brilliant. So he's going to take 9 damage.
9 fire damage as you kind of burn up his ass. And you can just see this small, little turret that you've seen from Irik kind of just walk there. And then just this big flame shoots out, and you just see as he's getting burned alive and getting cooked. Anything else you would like to do with your action?
Absolutely not.
Okay, you can prepare an action if you like to.
I didn't think that far ahead.
Just a firebolt if he comes within range again.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I'll just prepare the firebolt if I see him poke out of the hole again.
Okay, then Isoel, what would you like to do?
Yes. I'm going to swoop around my friend and we move right in front of the tunnel entrance. I am still within 30 feet of Fiera. I checked 3 times to make sure that I could move there. And I'm going to 4th level cast Guiding Bolt, which is literally the only attack I can do that is not concentration.
Okay, then roll your attack roll against this guy. Ooh. That's
Do you
gotta
give
hurt.
yourself that D4
Darn it. I am not part of the
on the bottom?
3 willing creature. Yeah.
Yeah, a 10 unfortunately won't. So as you kind of blast this big guiding bolt of light, the flames come in, but you can see that after already getting fried by the flamethrower of Irik, he kind of burrowed some of the ceiling as exactly as your flaming bolt comes in. It just kind of drops down and you just hit the rubble of his burrowing, igniting the stone around it, but not the creature itself. Well, that's gotta feel bad, but anything else you would like to do?
Yes, because I have combat wild shape. I can wild shape as a bonus action, so I'm gonna transform into a brown bear.
Okay. Oh, I was like waiting for a brown bear to appear, but I forgot I am the one who has to put the brown bear in. Okay, a brown bear it is. A big bear. Plop. pops down. I'll put your token just up here, just so I don't have to switch all the time, and then I will give you the ability to control it. You are logged in as Cindy, so nope. I give the character sheet to your name as Isoel. Where is
Nope.
I? Anything else you would like to do? While you're...
That's all I can do.
Okay. Then that's the end of your turn. Fiera, after your kind of dazed period, you're back at it again. What would you like to do?
Great. That was a good question. I thought I was gonna be confused. I'm confused. I have to do something useful. I don't know what that is. Okay, let's try this. Is there a rock that I could tie something to nearby? Like, is there a rock kind of sticking out of the ground to the side of me?
Yeah, like I said, it's a rocky terrain, very hilly. That definitely is a rock you could go to and tie something around.
Great. Because why not? I'm going to take out that 50 feet of yarn I have, and I'm going to tie it around the rock. Like, you know, maybe like 5 feet of it, just so it's kind of snug. And I'm going to pull the rest of it up to the hole. And get ready to wrap it around its legs once it comes out.
Okay. Then I will say your action that you're preparing is to try and wrap it around its legs when it kind of bursts out.
Yep, when it comes out, I'm just gonna go for one of the legs and wrap it around real quick and try to get a knot.
Okay.
That's... Yep.
That can be attempted. Definitely bring us to it again. It will try and kind of seeing all this happening. Yeah. Yeah. How far can I go? Kind of burst out here behind you, Eirik. Still somewhat covered from the others and kind of isolating you, since you're the only one who is somewhat alone. And try and attack you while he senses that you are the most vulnerable there. So 2 claw attacks against you. It's the first one. The 22, which will hit. So you take 8. And the second one, a 17.
That matches my AC.
Then it will hit, taking another 6, and it will come up with its mandibles, trying hitting you for 24, and you take 12. However, Vashina does have line on sight of you, and she definitely notices that you are being attacked, and since she has to see you and not the creature, she will try and in the last... Oh no, she didn't get her shield back. Well, she attempts to, but energy hasn't recovered yet, so you do get struck by the last one as well, as the kind of mandibles kind of jut into the side of your leather armor, piercing it, as you take a total of 26 damage.
Ow!
Ending its turn there, bringing us to Vashina. Yeah, tricky things. She will try and get a view of it. However, her path is currently being blocked by a big brown bear. She will... Let's see if she can...
Damn bear again.
It's
Where's
always...
the bear come from? Attack! Attack it!
Let's see what she will try and do. You know what? She will just gonna kind of stay there. Maybe it will turn up again, and she will just prepare a arcane burst in case the guy comes out again, and she will just try and blast the guy. Yes. And that's... Well... Yeah. I mean, she can't really move past the bear. You're really big, so she will just kind of sit tight there. Roll a d6 to see if she can recover her thing again. On a 4, 5, or 6. Nope, she doesn't get it. Unfortunately, going away, bring us back to Aria.
It's a me. What's this like line going from Fiera?
That's a rope.
Brown.
It's a what?
Wolf. It's a yarn ball. There you go.
Okay, so I can like walk under it or over it.
Yes.
She's furiously crocheting.
I can make a trap or something.
Alright, so let's see. I didn't mean to double click, but okay. So is it like right on the edge, so like I wouldn't have to go into the tunnel to get to it?
Exactly. It kind of came out a bit to be able to attack Irik, but yeah, you don't have to go into the tunnel. It's kind of at the opening, basically.
Okay. So like right there I'd be able to touch it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Alright, let's see how this inflict wounds works.
It's an attack roll.
Oh, it's an attack roll. Oh, nice. Yeah, 20 will definitely hit.
Oof.
Whoa.
19
3d10.
damage.
Wow.
Way above average. That's very nice. How does it look like as you do this for the first time?
Well, the way Arya, like, this is gonna come as a surprise to Arya, so she's gonna put her hand out like she would normally do, like her mind whip, like she puts her hand out, but instead, when she goes to make contact, black, like, smoke starts coming out of her hands and, like, going and touching the creature.
Yes.
And just kind of covers it.
As it does, you can feel or can see the kind of necrotic energy coursing from your body, and you can see almost like as if, as you're kind of looking at your own shadow, it seems almost like a different silhouette is there as you're channeling power that isn't truly yours, but at the same time it is just from somewhere else, and it kind of just goes into the Amber Hulk, and you can see it kind of react very strongly from it. It seems to like kind of seize a bit and look very angry towards you, as it definitely is hurt from it. Anything else?
I'm going to use my bonus action for cunning action to disengage.
Okay. And you wanna stay there? Very...
Yeah, because I used the rest of my movement to get up there.
Yes. Then taking us to Irik, what would you like to do?
Okay, so after being attacked, I'm gonna whip my head around and see what's happening to, down below, and I see this bear transform, and I realize that was Izarel, and my instinct is to just try to get away from this creature, so I'm gonna go and pull away, and as I pull away, seeing Izarel's transformation, I'm gonna... There's power inside of me has just, like, inspired me, and I'm just gonna cast Misty Step, and I'm gonna appear behind the bear.
Very nice.
Right there.
Yes.
Boom.
Kind
Okay, let me mark that off in a second.
Well,
Scroll. Where did it go? So much scrolling.
Can't you just go to your spells?
I can. There. Misty Step. Done. Alright, so now, if I were to have my cannon continue through the tunnel,
Yes.
can I get to a spot where I'm within range again of casting flamethrower at it?
The range is 15 feet.
Let me scroll back up. Where did it go? Right there. Yeah, 15-foot cone.
Oh yes, definitely. You can kind of walk the same route he has to burn his ass once again.
Brilliant. So I'll do that, move up.
Oh, I just realized, since he did appear and you had a firebolt prepared, you could have let it loose. Since that was your trigger.
Yeah, but that would have been a disadvantage because he was right on me.
I mean, you could still try if you wanted to.
Never hurts to try.
Who knows?
Sure, fine. We'll flavor it as I'm in the middle of casting Misty Step.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, jeez. So that's my roll. Oh, okay.
Okay. 22.
One more time.
See if it stays high. Yes, 22 will hit.
See? It never hurts.
Eirik is learning. So you can't deal that.
Well, that's kind of shitty, but
Oh man.
Damage is damage.
Okay, yeah, 4 for 2d10 really isn't the greatest, but 9 fire damage nonetheless is something. As you kind of disappear, as you blast a firebolt inside of this guy's face. Appear next to Vashina and the bear. Vashina looking a bit surprised that you're able to do this. Oh, interesting. And then the flamethrower, it's a dex save. Am I correct?
yep.
Okay, this time no disadvantage since he now has space he can kind of move in. But a 6 will still fail. So how much damage does this guy take from your flamethrower?
Oh, come on!
Oh my god.
boy.
That's...
Poor boy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
It's
kinda
not as strong because I can't necessarily see what's happening inside the tunnel.
Yeah, a lot of falling earth as well, so you know most of the fire gets skewed by the dirt and the dust in the air, so it's not as effective. However, you did deal a total amount of 11 damage, so that's good. And I guess end of your
Terrible. Yeah, that's it.
turn. Okay, taking us to Isolwell, your big bear. What would you like to do?
Yep. Big Bear is gonna start running up to here. So
Oh, excuse me.
So,
Oh, for
Eirik,
sure.
you're still... Yep, Eirik, you're still fine. You're still within the 30 feet. And I'm going to use my bear multi-attach. So I get to bite and claw.
Yes. Bite and claw.
So, yes. So, bite first. That's
Oh.
that's a big no.
Okay, well, a d20. Let's see.
Nope. Nope. That's still not. I'm trying to roll d12s. Nope. That's not what I want. That's what I want.
A
Come
2. Oh my god. You stumble forward as the ground is a bit uneven and you're not well attuned to your bear form. And as you do so, allows one attack of opportunity for any enemy. And he's right there. And he will gladly take it as he then tries to bite you as you kind of stumble forward with his bigger mandibles. And with a 26, he will actually hit you. And you
Yep,
take 18
definitely.
slashing damage as the mandibles just kind of scrape up the fur of your bare form. And I think you have to make a concentration check to stay in beast. No, that's...
And she's also concentrating on a spell for me.
Yeah.
Yes, so...
So it's what is it?
Constitution saving throw.
Constitution cost. Yes. This one here.
And yeah, you can use the bears.
16 is more than enough to keep your concentration on. Wild shape isn't concentration, right?
Not
No,
now.
it's not.
Okay, good. I
No.
mixed it up.
So
with-
it's really on the
Yes, Shield of Faith.
Shield of Faith.
Yes.
All right.
Then,
And
yeah. Your second attack, I guess.
my claws.
Was that
That's better.
20? Definitely hits. Leading 10. Convenience at a medium,
Yes.
was it? As the big claws of your bear kind of scrape through the hardened exoskeleton of this insectoid creature, and you can see as you slash through it, weird green-like substance comes out, what seems to be the blood of this creature, as it then kind of cries out in agony. Okay. Anything else you would like to do? Move? Or are you staying there?
I will actually stay there.
Okay. That will take us to Fiera's turn with your rope. But now a bear
Yeah.
is blocking.
Right. So I'm guessing even if I moved like here, it would kind of be tough to try to get a leg wrap in there.
I mean, you can certainly try.
I don't have much else to do. Yeah, no, that's. I want to try to help. Then it keeps running away, so I will bring my yarn over by the bear and the Umber Hulk and try to wrap it around one of its legs and tie it.
I mean, what you could also do is, go into the hole, and then you are at the back of it to try and do that as well.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. No, that doesn't sound like a good idea. Yeah, I'd rather do it out here, even if it's tougher.
Okay, then make an acrobatics check as you're trying to nuzzle your way beyond the bear's paws to try and get to the legs of this insect as you see these big, two large creatures kind of going at it.
Yep. Okay, and then I think I still have the D4. 4? That's a 1. It's a 12.
I mean,
Yeah, I know.
yeah, it's difficult because while they're both in action, you don't really find a point where you could safely go between them and try and attempt it. So you kind of like waiting there, and as you kind of try to get in, you kind of just get hit to the side by the shoulder of Isorel's bear form, and you just kind of get knocked back. It doesn't seem like you're able to pull it off.
I'll try again next time.
Well, I would say that it's just kind of your attempt to get into the space, but you still have your action.
Oh, gosh, okay. I do have a dagger. Can I reach to stab it, or would that be too hard? I could throw it too. That'd make.
Yeah, since he's kind of behind the corner, he's kind of like this because this rock is kind of blocking the way.
Oh, so he probably has like cover too then.
Yes, cover, and I don't think you can reach him from where you are because technically, I know you can't see it on the map,
Right.
but there's a wall, so you aren't, actually.
Okay.
So.
Then I will hold my action with my dagger until I have a clear point where I can stab it.
Okay. I will say if you kind of just move over here, you could then technically throw it. like past the bear, because you have a clear line of sight. So.
Okay, I'll do that. So I can try to do something.
Yes. And give me that attack roll.
Alright. Actions. Oh my god, I never go to weapon actions as a wizard. Dagger.
Whew. Oh boy, you throw it. Just hits the nearby stone and doesn't do
Okay.
anything.
Yep. That's it.
Okay. Then we come to the hawkish form again. It sees the bear in front of it after it clawed him, and it will attempt to get rid of it, since he definitely sees it as a threat. So we'll do 2 claws attack and 1 mandible attack against you, Israel. So it's the first one. A 13. I think that hits, right? Yep. So you take 12 slashing damage as it scrapes over you. To make a Constitution saving throw to keep Shield of Faith on Ari alive. As she's trying to desperately unmute herself.
Yes, sorry, there's a lot going on over here at the same time. Constitution.
That is a save. Then a second claw attack coming your way. 21 will definitely hit. Take another 11 slashing damage and another Constitution save.
Yes, so I revert back to Israel
Okay.
because I only had 4 points left. So the brown bear is no more.
Okay.
And I do take some damage as well. I'm gonna do that. Sorry, trying to do 6 things at the same time.
Multitask.
Yeah, I'm trying. No, that's definitely not what I was supposed to do. That is this. Oh, sorry. And then another Constitution. Here it is.
A 10 is barely enough. Still managed to keep concentration. 10 is the DC. And after the bear is gone, after kind of assessing its situation, seeing that it got rid of what it perceived as the main threat, kind of looking at all of you kind of standing there, it will actually decide to try and run away. So it will...
It would be right here, like right at the entrance.
Okay, so you want to be kind of a...
Yeah, I would definitely be right at the entrance.
Okay. Well, it will still try and run away as it starts burrowing deep beneath the ground. You do get an attack of opportunity.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So you can hit it.
I'm gonna whack it with my quarterstaff.
Whack it.
That's all I can do.
Very good.
Can I, just as a question, could I do a cantrip as a reaction or not?
No, only if you have the Warcaster feat.
No, it's only, yeah, it's all right. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. Like,
Yeah,
nope.
kind of ting, hit its exterior shell, which is very hard. Has no effect on the creature whatsoever, as it's kind of start burrowing down, and it's now 20 feet away back into the interior of the hill, and just seems to be trying to get away. Vashina kind of just shouts over, "Everything okay? I can't see it anymore."
I ran inside the tunnel.
Right. Is it trying to get away?
It's definitely running away.
Well, alright. I don't think it's worth the effort to try and follow it. And she kind of just, just kind of readjusts her. She didn't really take a hit, but just kind of chills and doesn't do anything. Just kind of, you can do whatever you want kind of thing, but she doesn't seem to care about it anymore. Arya, it's your turn.
Since it wasn't advised that we go after it, if I were to move up beside Izarel, would I be able to see it?
Yes.
I'll do Mind Sliver against it again.
Okay. So an intelligence save from his part. The 10 definitely fails, so he takes 6 psychic damage. So he's trying to crawl away. Anything
Don't
else?
want it coming back.
Fair enough. Then
Nope, that's it for me.
okay, then Eirik.
Am I gonna yell out and say, "Where's it going?"
In the tunnel.
Alright, so I'll move a hand cannon, walking forward. It's gonna spin. It's gonna realize that one direction is my friends, so it's gonna spin the other direction and go one more time, flamethrower, see if it can do anything.
Okay. As he's bowing again, he has disadvantage. I will say. Oh, 17?
It's a 16.
Oh, but he has Mind Sliver, which he failed, so he gets minus a d4 on saving throws. I remember.
Hey!
Minus 4. So that is a 13. So
Ooh.
he,
Glad I can help.
Right.
he fails.
So let me find my flamethrower again. That's better.
That is better for 8 fire damage. As he continues to burn his backside as he's desperately trying to escape. But he seems very wounded now. Isorel and Awe, you can kind of see he's kind of, struggling to burrow continuously, but he still seems to be alive. Anything else you would like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna use my action just to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay. Then that will take us to Isorel.
Yep. Seeing that it's deeply wounded, I'm gonna try to finish it off and cast another guiding bolt at 4th level.
Okay.
That's a lot better.
That is a
Oh,
19.
you're trying to decimate it.
I mean, yeah, how do you wish
Yeah.
to incinerate this poor insect?
Yes.
Yeah,
There we go.
I see that it hurt my friend. I see that it hurt me, and I'm just gonna clap my hands together and go like this. And there's like a giant spark of bluish, purplish energy that's gonna just smash it right in the back and try to make a big hole in it.
Yep. As it's kind of, burrowing, trying to get away, you can just see this flash of light. As it strikes its hard armor, almost like your light is kind of fighting against the armor. It stays there for a bit. And after a few seconds, it just punches right through him. And then splattering a perfect incinerated hole in where its stomach once was. The front wall also gets a bit hit by your light, and then its corpse kind of still burning in the guiding light of your guiding bolt. It kind of just falls down to its knees. And then falls dead, unmoving, onto the floor and becomes lifeless.
Is everyone okay?
Yeah, I could be better.
Thanks to you.
I just
Hold on.
pat Azrael on the back and say, well done, as I'm kind of like bending over, kind of going, oh.
I'm just respooling my yarn.
I'm gonna go up to oh, come on, names, please.
Eric.
Machina?
Alright. Yes, Eric. Sorry. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna go up to Eric and cast a 3rd level Cure Wounds on him.
Okay, you can definitely do that. And while you do that, Vashina kind of just walks to the entrance of the hall just to kind of see the results. Kind of looks inside. Kind of looks like, you know, impressed of what you did. And it says, right, maybe a bit overkill, I must say. Yes, normally I wouldn't maybe recommend throwing out all your biggest trump cards so soon. We still have a bit to travel, but I guess let's just hope nothing more comes. Feel a bit bad for him though. Well, whatever. Let's not stay here too long. I think his corpse might invite other creatures to come nearby.
I'm just gonna point out. I almost died yesterday. We got ambushed. I don't think anything is kind of off the table right now.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if anything, now since its burning corpse is an inviting scent for more monsters, I say we are maybe in a bit more trouble now than a few seconds ago. So I suggest moving it. Well, its corpse might also serve as a good distraction. Let's just hope a demon doesn't find its corpse and it won't haunt us as a demon in its afterlife. Does tend to happen.
Should we torch it?
I mean, if you want to spend your time, I think we can just maybe collapse this tunnel a bit more. And then we just get the hell out of here and just hope a demon doesn't find it.
Oh, I can help. In Aldreach. Is your bag of holding kind of on your belt?
It's on my lower back. It's like a fanny
well,
pack.
Okay, I guess I'll try to reach into it and get my pickaxe.
Okay. Now we have to talk like how a pickaxe fits into a fanny pack, since.
Well, I mean, it's like as wide as my back, like so. As long as the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you can disassemble the pickaxe.
Yeah. But I was thinking also it's like maybe the pickaxes are like retractable, probably.
And the ones that just fold, like a little
exactly.
camping thing.
Yeah. Okay, he kind of takes that out. Kind of looks at you, Fiera, but with a eye of disappointment. It's like, well, at least a bit helpful, I guess. Well, go at it then.
Yeah, I guess I'll try to look for some rocks that are kind of ready to fall from the top, and I don't know. Probably swing wilder than I usually do.
Yeah.
I usually do a little bit of work, not a lot of work.
Yeah, I think you're all witnessing Fiera completely out of her element. Just make an athletics check. This is kind of athletics based. To see how long this actually takes.
Just standing there watching, like,
I
Oh,
mean,
Okay,
with a -2.
there we go.
the best I can do to help is use thaumaturgy to cause a little bit of tremors to loosen up the rocks
That's
while
probably so much.
Fiera's trying to pickaxe at it. But like that's the best I can do. Other than that, I have no tools, I have no spells, I have nothing that can help. So I'm just gonna be like shaking the rocks around to help Fiera
Yeah.
as she's smashing.
Yeah, you do that, but you notice it's relatively easily since this wasn't like a handcrafted tunnel or anything. It was like kind of somewhat made to fall apart. Probably the insectoid creature could make it or kind of like crush down if it wanted to. So it's an already extremely unstable structure. So just a couple of hits against some of these spots is easy enough to let some of the rubble fall down to a point where the entire kind of cave section gets blockaded, and so that no one from the outside is able to access the corpse of the insectoid creature. So it maybe takes you like
From this side.
yeah, from this side there is a second one. Well, I assuming you do both sides. And it takes you around maybe like half an hour to do both sides. During that time, Vashin is just kind of looking around and says, after you kind of finished, right, well, let's not waste any more time. We should be getting very close to the ruins. I think we will get there tomorrow afternoon if we continue our pace. And she then starts to march forward. That's also where we're gonna take our break. So, we'll see you guys in a minute. And we are back. And you guys are traveling once again, taking you out of the bottom map, putting you back on the normal map, so you can kind of know where the hell you are going. Yeah, the rest of the kind of traveling day seems to pass by uneventfully, and nothing strange occurs, and you kind of settle down once again as Vashina tries to look once again for a spot where you can rest. Fortunately, doesn't find such a nice alcove underneath the trees. Instead, everything here in this small hilly area seems to open up a bit as you kind of pass by the rocky terrain and then back into the woods. It seems like it's more like spacious here, but for that same reason there isn't much cover. So the kind of only spot she's able to find is just once again a large tree, but you're just kind of nestled next to it and not under it like the last one, as you just kind of tries to, prepare camp for the night so you can rest once again. Is there anything you would like to do in the interim?
Oh boy. So much. I guess yeah, I'll get everybody together, our little band of Fate Weavers. If we can call ourselves that. Yeah, team meeting. Real quick. Well, it probably won't be quick, sorry. So I've been thinking we need more information about what's happening to us. I think the best way to go about that is to try to replicate the experiment I did before. I'll do it on myself so I don't hurt any of you. I was hoping you all could help me and watch, and maybe we can see something that can help us.
Like, what are you wanting to try on yourself?
So before I was able to pretty much get rid of my mark completely. And I want to try to do that again, I guess, or see what sort of power I used. Because I don't know if I'd fully use my own arcane abilities. I kind of reached for help from elsewhere.
Much as I know that we need to find more answers, I think messing with this more than we already have is a terrible idea.
Mm.
Yeah, I have to agree. It seems just like a, it seems like a really bad idea to just start playing around, with something that we don't know, with magic that you seem to not be confident about, in a place that we have no support if something goes wrong. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're going to want to do this experiment, you should probably do some research into the stuff that you are going to be doing first before doing it to some weird cursed mark on your skin.
That would be difficult. Hmm. I guess that makes sense.
You're still going to do it,
Much
aren't
as
you?
No, I gave you that pocket watch because I trusted your decision. If you think it's too dangerous, then it can wait.
I want to believe Fiera, but I want to do an insight check to see how genuine that is.
Sure. Yeah, and then Fiora, just roll a d20 and then add either your
Oh.
persuasion or deception modifier.
I might still roll lower. I gotta think what it would be first. She's a weird spot. Okay. Well, I guess you won't know.
As much as I appreciate you trying to protect us and wanting to do it on yourself, I have to agree with the others that it's dangerous right now, because if something was to happen to you, I'm the only cleric around, and I definitely don't have any abilities to help you. We're days away from the closest hospital. But
Mhm.
also, he hasn't shown himself in 2 days now.
Let's not mention that because every time that we do,
I'm just saying, we were talking, we briefly mentioned it earlier and nothing happened, and it has been a couple days. I don't know if it's Servalon protecting us. I have no idea. I'm sorry. I want to believe my god is watching over me,
Mhm.
but let's not mess with it and just take the break that we have to gather our thoughts on this.
Take a break.
plus my brain's finally becoming okay again. If he comes
Right.
back, it scares me.
Okay. I understand.
I'm so glad that more of you are starting to understand the whole not wanting to get, mind fucked every day.
Thaumaturgy, a little bit of wind in Irik's ear. You were saying?
And
I
also,
was saying, I don't like when people fuck with my mind.
speaking of minds, who has glamour?
Oh gosh.
I put my hand up and make the ring visible.
Can I have some time with Glamour? I need to discuss some wardrobe ideas with him.
Yeah, I'll just hold out my hand.
So I take the ring.
Okay. You have to attune to it first, which will take an hour.
Yeah,
But yeah, you
since
can
we're winding down, I'll do it. Yeah.
plop it back on. And as you're talking, or we're talking about, Calyx and stuff, once again, you'll probably just instinctively look at your arms, and all of your marks have somewhat kind of healed a bit.
What the fuck?
It's like a day-old scar, basically. Like after a fresh wound has, healed over a bit. That's what it looks like now.
Is the magic wearing off?
I thought we weren't going to talk about it.
Let's just take a break. Let's just let it slide for now. And once we're back into civilization where actual doctors can take care of us, we'll discuss it. I do not want anyone to have their brains fried in the middle of literally butt nowhere.
I agree. I don't want my brain fried. But I trust you to protect me. Even though it's my job to protect you.
I'm trying, which is why I'm saying let's not talk about it.
What are we not talking about?
That's the attitude.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Fiera. I take it very seriously, and I do understand why you want to figure this out. I just don't think that the middle of the woods is the best place to do it safely.
Well, you've all voted, and I understand.
Also,
I'd rather not do it alone. That's why I asked.
yeah, sure, of course. It's always safer when people are around in case anything goes wrong. I'm just talking in a more general sense now. That just I it we still don't really have a lot of. I mean, we've clearly got powers, we've clearly got our skills, but in the grand scheme of things, compared to a lot of other people in the world, and I'm gonna turn to Vashina, like
She's preparing a
we
circle.
we don't have, the greatest selection of skills. So trying to take care of such a big, problem so quickly seems pretty stupid to me. So
Well,
not even just talking about this problem, any problem, demon problems, war problems. We're just a group of nobodies. We're not going to be able to fix this stuff over, a day or a night's sleep. So we just need to draw this out. We need to take everything just day by day. Just because we survived another day doesn't mean that we're automatically going to be able to survive or to solve a world issue. So
what if the problem is time? What if we are all bound to die in a month? In a couple of us?
Well, then that's how it'll be.
But what if we could have circumvented it by learning more while we could? Even if we were ill prepared.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I just don't think, you know, I don't think every day is, we can't just like end the day going, hey, let's do an experiment.
If we were in a city where there were I look at Israel and I say, please don't take offense. More trained clerics that could assist us if something were to go wrong would be better. Because I'm all for knowledge and learning more about things, but there's a time and a place for it.
And what if that city isn't there tomorrow?
Oh boy. Okay.
That's just going down the rabbit hole of what ifs at that point.
Rabbit hole. We know what's happening. We were in
Yeah, we do
Sunavir.
know what's happening, but we're still only 4 people who just met still like a Voss ago.
I sense a little bit of urgency in your words, Sierra. Is something going on that you're not letting us know?
We all know what's happening. A war is about to begin. A lot of people will die. Cities will fall. And maybe cities already have fallen while we already left. Maybe when we get
So
back to the ruins, the world won't be what we remember.
Well, the world doesn't
what
seem
I
to remember me, so big deal.
I can't even argue with that point.
Isarel is not laughing, Skit is.
So, yeah.
That just broke me.
Arya is legit laughing. And she just looks at Eirik and she's like, well, you're not wrong. And I still don't know if my family knows who I am. And the only other person that I care that much about is Izarel. And we're together.
Well, I want there to be more than just a handful of us when this gets to its end. And that means taking the opportunities when we can. Taking breaks, I don't have that luxury. I'm not going to live as long as either of you two. Me and Eirik, we need to make our mark now.
Well, I mean, I'm not looking to make a mark like I kind of want to draw my life out a little bit.
I I understand what you're telling us. And I do not want to dismiss how you're feeling. Um, I'm trying to find the words. Like I said, I don't think that here and now is the best place to make an experiment. Um, Especially seeing that we don't have a lot of protection around us either from the elements. Um,
And if I could,
maybe maybe we could compromise a little bit on where where and when we could do the experiment. I'm sure there will be more covert or covered at least areas in in or next to the ruins. Um, would you be willing to wait until we get there to make the experiment. So at least if something was to make a noise or like I'm just saying, like, let's not draw more attention on us, as we are not the most protected from the elements right now as we speak for tonight.
So Machina couldn't find the spot. If I take a gander around, would there be a place, like maybe in the middle of trees that could be somewhat hidden, or maybe like a nook she missed,
Yeah, you can either make a
a rocky area?
survival perception check.
I think they're the same, but I believe in survival more, not much more.
Not much more. Yeah, no, you look around and you come at the end of looking around to the conclusion that, yeah, the point that Sheena kind of found out is the best in the vicinity.
I'm willing to help you out and perhaps give you a little boost when you want to experiment. I just want to make sure that we do it in a safe place.
Okay. I will make that compromise, but I won't wait too long.
I understand.
Oh.
Like I said, let's see if, as we approach the ruins, if we can find a spot that is a little bit more safe than where we are right now.
And maybe as we get to that spot, you can spend time, elaborating on your experiment idea. Because from where I come from, doing the work that I did, we didn't just do things, at random. People had a task, we sat down, we figured out what the best process would be. Everything was done sort of just controlled, it was safe. But we just
Sure.
talk it out, work it out so that things aren't just, going off the rails. So tell us more about what you experienced the last time. What do you think is going to happen? Talk us through it instead of just saying, hey, let's do an experiment.
I'll try my best. Well, I guess I can get you all caught up on multiversal personalities and alternate realities. Oh, and
See,
you to access those.
this is just what I said. Talk it out. Because right there, that's already
I will
that's
prepare
ridiculous.
a 101 lecture. And I'll start taking out my book. Find a nice place to sit and start writing.
Okay. The dome appears once again. It's kind of 10 minutes have passed. You're talking. Machina just kind of says, well, whenever you're ready, the dome is. And she's gonna. Oh, she's inside, as she has to be as she casts it. And she kind of just chills there, preparing her own rest.
Yeah, join her eventually.
Next to her. Zoom one after another, followed by the other three.
Before I go into the bubble, I'll take a moment to pray out to Sir Villon. And just general prayer, like asking to protect us and make sure that we stay safe until we get to the ruins, and thank him for the perceived protection that I feel like he's given us since we left, and then I'll join back into the bubble.
Yep. It's a quick prayer out into nature. Feeling more deeply connected than you have in a while. Kind of your spiritual attunement is a little bit greater. You kind of feel a warm breeze kind of pass you by. Some of the leaves kind of fall on you. And it's just a tranquil experience from all the bit of chaos that has been happening. And then you just kind of stand up and then go back into the bubble, where then the others also reside.
Has the feeling in my chest changed at all today?
No, it's still kind of there a bit. Like, it feels like either you kind of developed a vein, or maybe you just got noticed of a vein that you never knew was there before. You know how sometimes that happens. So it's yeah, it just feels like there's something.
Yeah, I'll try to like turn from as they're all going into the bubble. I'll just kind of like I'll just try to quickly feel to see if I can tell that there's like a difference. I don't want to like take anything off. I just want to see if there's anything like actually noticeable.
Yeah, kind of haptic feeling there. So you kind of do. Yeah, it just feels like that. Like literally, it's one of your veins just maybe just kind of popped out a bit more. Like it's a bit bigger than it usually is, and so you just kind of grew to now notice it. Well, it may have been there before. It just you never noticed it, but now you can definitely feel it. It like wiggles a bit from where your scarring is. It definitely comes from where your scar is.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But nothing like unnatural or anything like that. Okay. Then once all inside, you then yes.
I had that I wanted to send messages through the sending stone.
Okay.
To each person, they're going to be essentially the exact same thing. Because they were in different areas, if I remember correctly. Like they were going to different areas, right?
Harold and Xenophor, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. They were going different areas.
So I would say the exact same thing to both stones. I hear it's getting worse in the world. How is it in your area?
Okay, let's say you speak with Xenophor first. She kind of responds and says, well, Sunaranir has been occupied now by the Holy Lichnis, as expected. And it seems like an invasion from Tellus into Canaan has already started. And then from Harold, you hear, seems like the invasion from Tellus into Canaan started. Oh, wow. Seems like they managed to tear down the Helios gates. I'm presuming it was an Earth Chrysalis.
Okay. I would go up to Izarel and tell her what I just learned. Can you hear us, Azrael?
Yes, I do. I'm just kind of disturbed because Greg's camera is frozen with a huge smile on his face as we are learning that the world is burning down.
It's normal for me, so don't worry. That's really funny.
Yeah, pretty much. Uh, okay, sorry. Right. So we were expecting this to happen, but it's kind of scary hearing that it's actually happening now.
Maybe fear you were right.
I will feign sleep.
Okay.
Yep.
Passive aggressive.
She knows more than she's letting on. We're gonna have to be careful.
Yeah. And I'm just like, Arya just looks at Pierre trying to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, you can make an inside check and Fiona can make a deception check if you want to see if she's actually sleeping.
I've never faked sleep a day in my life. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, but maybe it will.
Maybe.
Oh, man.
For something I'm supposed to be good at, this is terrible.
Yeah,
It's
no.
not perfect, but
Yeah, since you
probably hard
don't
to tell.
sleep,
So-
Arya, it's kind of hard to discern whether or not she is.
How do humans sleep?
Yeah.
Dang, Pierre really is knocked out.
We had a big day today. We should probably also rest and let them know what's going on tomorrow.
Should we though? I mean, if we feel like they're hiding stuff from us, not so much Eirik, but
I don't think it's time to play that kind of game. I understand. I I just think the more open and the more honest we are with with each other, the better it's gonna go for us. If we start hiding things from each other, that's when we're gonna fall apart. I know we don't know them that well, but they saved our lives and we have saved theirs. We need to act as a team. We are a team right now. Their fate and our fate, it's all tied together.
Woven, some might say.
oh, Eirik's awake. Did you hear what I told Azrael?
No, I really wasn't paying attention. As that's me, like in the sketchbook. I'm like listening, but I hear the joke opportunity, and I just chime in.
Okay. What are you working on, Eirik?
Oh, I don't mind me. Like, you,
No, I'm genuinely curious. I like to know what you're working on.
well, no, I appreciate that, but you seem to have already been doing a thing with Izarel, so just don't, I'm not going anywhere, so
Well then, we should probably rest and get ready for another day of Probably crazy things happening.
Always is.
Seems like it's our life lately.
Yeah. I hope our families are doing okay with everything that's happening.
I I know our fathers are gonna be fine. It's my dad's a soldier. I know he's got everything under control. It's my mom I'm scared of. You know, she's she's not she's she's the best at handling things, but I don't know if that's something she ever thought she would have to deal with. That's kind of scary.
Well, let's get some rest and have great dreams of family time.
Yep. Good night, Arya.
Good night, Ezra. Good night, Eirik.
Oh, yeah, hi. Yeah, okay, good night.
And you all go into your different sleep states. The evening passes without much happening. Once again, Isra and Arya, you obviously wake up as usual earlier, 4 hours earlier than the rest, and you can also see once again Vashina just preparing. Seems like she's taking out like different equipment, and seems like more equipment based for probably archaeological endeavors, as you seem to be now nearing the ruins. She's kind of now preparing different equipment. You can see a lot of notepads that she's taking out, and she's kind of just rereading notes that she has taken before. And the fuck was that?
That was my boyfriend sneezing.
Okay, I was like, no one moved, but there was a sneeze. Mysterious.
Coming from behind me.
Yeah, she's just kind of going through her notes, and then after those 4 hours pass, Eirik, Fiera, you then also come back to consciousness. As then also the bubble slowly fades, and then the kind of somewhat cool breeze of the woods hits your skin once again, as the temperature inside of the dome itself is very comfortable, as Vashina can adjust it to her liking. But as you go out, the kind of fresh winds helps you to get awake, kind of filling your lungs with very fresh air, and you can see that it had showered a bit over the evening, so everything around you is a little bit damp. You can feel the moistness in the air, and some of the moss on the side of the tree and the bark has kind of soaked that up a little bit. But Vashina kind of just, stands back up, puts back one of the things together, leaving out one of the notepads and a pen, and just says, alright, fresh morning, moist. Are we all ready to depart?
I suppose.
Well,
Let's do this.
right. Not very enthusiastic group I'm traveling with, but whatever. Can't even
The
just...
faster we get to where we need to go, the better.
Yes, depends where you need to go. But in this case, I agree. And she marches on forward. By the way, I forgot to say it. But you have to, for every day, you travel 2 days, so -2 rations for everyone, which you have to keep track of. And I say water skin is not big of a problem since, like I said, there are a lot of lakes that just, you know, have a lot of natural rainwater, which you can just always refill up there. And especially now in the moistness in there, you can probably just even suck on some moss if you wanted to get that a liquid in your body.
Oh, gross.
Yummy. Yummy, yummy.
Yes, that is that avian experience. No, that's from the Alps. Anyways, I need someone to roll me a d20.
I did it last time.
Like Matt's the one who hasn't rolled tonight.
Yep.
Oh boy. Let's do it.
That is
8.
an 8. Now I need a d100.
I got the D100.
That is a 41. And then I need a d4.
Take care of it.
Oh!
Ooh, what does that mean? It's green. That could be good.
Okay. You march on. And Vashina is kind of taking the realms. And then now you are slowly starting to see like kind of sticks that have been kind of placed into the earth that kind of look a little bit like wayward signs, and Vashina kind of puts them out and says, "Alright, yes, we are getting close. Last time I was here, we deliberately placed them here so we find the ruins. So seeing them again is a relief." She kind of goes there, kind of goes to one of the sticks, and you can just see it's like a kind of cut off and carved branch that has been just placed into the earth. And says, "Okay, so remembering that this is here probably only 3 more hours to the southwest, and then we should kind of get where we need to go." Right. Well, I haven't been directly at the ruins yet, so I guess be prepared for everything. I just know that lots of creatures like to frequent outer abandoned structures since it's natural shelter you can go to. So definitely expect some sort of activity there. Whether or not it will be hostile, I do not know. Right? And she then just marches on forward. Is there anything you would like to do as you're kind of now starting to approach the ruins?
By the way, I'm sure this has been discussed prior, but what are the ruins actually? Like, is this like a full-on city we're going to, or is it just like a building?
That is a very good question. Like I said, we hadn't had much time. We've only found some old cobblestone and a collapsed pillar. But it seems to have been going on further. We are presuming it to be potentially a shrine of some sort. We don't think it's an entire city. I don't think we would have missed that.
Right. That makes sense. Is there any like history about who was here? Like what brought you out here out of all the places in the world? What was signifying you coming here specifically?
Well, the woods are often, patrolled for, seeking demonic threats and eliminating them. And one of the patrols stumbled upon these ruins. So it wasn't like we knew something was here, so we went here. But we are very confident that inside of the Great Woods there are a lot of ancient ruins that have been just taken over by nature, so we are just trying to uncover them one by one, and lucky enough we have been able to find one. Yes, a lot of our ancient past unfortunately has been lost with time, and well, lost with the influence of the holy religions as well. Always has to be reinstated, I believe. So yes, as I mentioned, it is, we believe, to be somewhat related to draconic ancestry, since we have identified few of the insignias in a broken statue of a, well, not necessarily reptile-like creature, but it had wings and it had the posture of what we assume a dragon would look like. And so we just kind of made an educated guess that it might be connected to it somehow. Well, whether it fully is or isn't, we will find out, hopefully, once we get there.
So someone's gonna have to fill me in then. Are dragons? Are they just flying around?
They used to.
Yes, we assume they're used to, but we are pretty sure that they went extinct during the Angelic War. Which is why we haven't seen one since the Angelic War.
Which is
And
why
how
these
long ago was that?
Around 1,500 years ago.
Ah, okay.
Fiera, you were trying to say something?
I was trying to recall. So there's draconic runes in Canaan. That's like a that were big, right? There were like a lot of them.
Yes.
Do I know what's like called and what their purpose would have been?
I guess make a history check.
History got better.
13.
Oh, but it's only 13.
No, you can't really recall the purpose, since, you know, after you found the kind of prestigiae wounds, your focus was naturally gravitated towards that, so you kind of not really delve much into draconic history, hence why you probably aren't able to speak draconic.
Makes a lot of sense.
So even if you would know, probably every time it came up, you really didn't understand most of the terminology that was being used there, since, you know, it's draconic and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You just know that one of the biggest ruins ever found is kind of immediately under Mount Celestia, which is the biggest mountain
Oh,
in Canaan, which is like the center.
Right.
No, it's the biggest mountain in the entire continent, actually, which sits in the very middle of the continent, which I can actually show you. Just go to the continental view, which obviously you would have seen the continental map. The big ass mountain in the middle in Canaan is Mount Celestia, and the thing beneath it is famously known as the Broken Arch Gate. And as a archaeologist, you would know that's one of the most famous ruins that was being investigated for some
Right.
time, and that seemed to be draconic in nature.
okay. Well, you also mentioned that there's a Fey heritage here. I assume there's also Fey statues of some kind.
Not necessarily. Oh no, I hear myself.
Earbuds.
Noch face statues. Like I said, the weird figure we found, it didn't resemble the classic description of a dragon. It didn't really have scales or looked reptilian. It looked more to be formed out of wood, leaves, and stuff like that. And on the pillar itself, we could find some Sylvan scriptures, which we definitely know are related to the Fae. So we presume there's some kind of connection with the two that was going on here.
Does that description ring any bell to me?
You can make a history check as well.
I'm just trying to see if there's any knowledge. Ooh, I probably don't know anything.
12.
Oh, it's okay. I thought I rolled a 1. It's a 7. Okay.
12.
Still not good, but better than I thought.
Yeah, no, there's... the description doesn't particularly much anything that you are aware of. Obviously, you know Sylvan, and you know everything in Fae is Sylvan. But the creature she described, unfamiliar to you.
Well, sounds like the easiest thing to do is just go there and find out.
Exactly what we're trying to do. Okay, so let's continue onwards. She then continues onwards. Once again, anyone doing anything specific as you're kind of approaching?
Just by normal, keeping an eye out, making sure we're not going to get surprised by anything.
Very smart. Then make a perception check.
I'm going to, as we approach the ruins, I'm going to start looking for specific signs that are tied to either Servalon or the Fake Words.
Oh, yes, you can also make a perception check then for that.
I will just try my hardest to look for any structures that we find along the way, even if they're like small, like a sign or like a small cottage or just anything, old, new, whatever it might be.
Okay, yeah, I'll make a perception check. A 9. Okay. And finally, definitely not least, Irik, anything you wish to do?
I guess I'll just kind of be on the lookout for anything that's like man-made. I guess that isn't like structures, like if there's any, materials or just anything that looks like people have been here or whatever.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can also make a perception check for that as well. A 10.
Plus 5.
15. Okay. Yeah, you move with the swift, elegant speed from Vashina. And after, walking for another 2 hours, getting to afternoon. Okay.
Grab the keyboard, sorry.
Man, that kind of took me out of it. You specifically, Iso, as you're kind of looking around, notice that as the sunrise kind of, starting to peak and the sun kind of starting to, apex at the highest point as it's becoming noon, you can see a few spots on the trees that where the moss has grown. You can see that the sun is shining on it, and you famously know, obviously moss grows on the eastern side of where the sun shines, that it has a slightly different tint than what it usually has. A very kind of vibrant purple that is, more violet, not really purple, that is just kind of subtly on the moss, and you can only see it as the light is hitting it from a specific angle. And you gain almost like, the sun has to be like exactly noon. From a perception check, you can tell, for you to be able to witness these moss kind of plants have this other color sheen to it. And you notice it's specifically because as the sun then passes over the hours, you can see that it's the shimmer of this violet color starts to disappear a bit. And you know that often at old, fey places, they obviously have a much larger selection of magical nature that usually kind of springs up from it, just from the innate magical connection it has to the magical weave. And often what results, depending on what kind of shrine is being built, they often have a specific color or specific plants that are dedicated to either one of the fey spirits. And you're assuming that now that you're starting to see this kind of very distinctive violet color, that it might be potentially associated with one of the fey spirits. Similar how your court had its own deep purple color, which was associated to the Moonweaver. You know that maybe this has also association with a different spirit. Is what you get and you can see. And as you're moving forward after a short while, you then see that kind of Vashina stops a bit, kind of pointing out two things, another two of these waymark signs, which you would also notice, Eirik, as you're kind of also looking around. Obviously handmade, but you recognize, okay, it was Vashina's team that put them there. But you then also notice that there is a kind of what looks to at first look to be like a boulder, but as you get closer, you can see the coloration is a little bit different, a bit more gray, a bit more white. You can see just moss has grown over it, and a few sharp edges which indicate structural collapse, that it has been detached from something, and it seems to be like a broken pillar that has been fallen down over centuries ago, and then kind of nature's just retaking it. You don't find anything specific like, old tools or stuff like that on the ground. However, as you kind of approach this spot, you then also start to notice on the ground itself, Arya, you would also, especially with your high passive perception, can notice that your feet are treading on a bit more harder ground, as you notice that as you look down on what was once a natural floor, a very moss covered and greenery covered cobblestone floor on a few spots. Most of the spots have already been covered by earth and dirt, but there are a few flecks and points that still are, remain visible to the outside, and that's how you notice them as you kind of step into a place that seem to be part of the ruins at least. And as you look further down, kind of flanked by two large trees, there seems to be a larger pillar that has kind of somewhat remained intact but also collapsed, and you can see it's maybe like 30 feet tall but broken off one end. Must have been way taller when it was still standing, but has also collapsed onto the ground. And then as kind of Vashina steps into the space a bit, says, right, seems like we've made it. This is as far as we got last time. If you wouldn't mind, I would like to spend a bit of time kind of just looking over things in case I've missed something last time. And she kind of just goes into a mode where she, takes the tools out and then starts just looking at the floor.
With my thieves' tools, could I look for traps or anything?
Yeah, you can definitely make an investigation check. A 24. Pretty dang high. Yeah, you kind of start looking around there. Anyone else want to do anything?
gosh.
Come on, where's... Oh, yeah, I'm gonna take some time studying the different signs of Fae and Fae spirits to try to figure out which Fae spirit is dedicated here and see if I know which one it is.
Okay, then you can make, first of all, an investigation check to see if you find anything. 14. And then you can also make a history check. Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Vashina. This is the first time I've seen somebody else use tools in the last little while, so I'd like to, take a look and I'm not like right over her shoulder or anything, just kind of like watching out of the corner of my eye as she starts to work. You know, what kind of tools does she have? Do they look expensive? Do they look, old and, breaking? How does she use them? Just everything that a maker would kind of observe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you have to roll for it. You just kind of look at her, kind of studying her. So yeah, you can do that. And Fiera, is there anything?
Sounds like she's gone over the main area. I'm gonna try to look for anything that's hidden. Like a patch of grass that seems a little light. So maybe there's a staircase under it, or maybe there's like a button, a switch, a lever, a hidden cache somewhere. I'm just looking for anything that seems to be like it's not supposed to be found.
Okay, yeah, can make an investigation check.
I think that's okay. This is what I'm good. This is what I do.
Yeah.
This is my job.
Natural instincts in the environment.
+5.
Oh my god. 33. Yes.
An edible mental chrysalis. What?
Oh, I'm gonna pocket that. We're gonna start off with Arya looking for traps. You're kind of investigating around. It doesn't seem like this would be a place where a trap could be placed. Okay, theoretically, magically, you can place anywhere a trap, but this just seems to, from the best you can gather, have been, some kind of walkway, and it would have been extremely weird to put a trap here. So, on a very quick glance, you can quickly assume that here are no traps, but you double check just to make sure. Maybe someone else came by and doesn't want the ruins disturbed, which is a high possibility. And you kind of make your way through, the areas where you would most likely presume a trap to be, but there don't seem to be any. As for Isorel, with your 14 investigation check, the thing you gather the most is, once again, as you're kind of looking around, there are more purplish kind of plants that just start to be popping up here. Like specific a few violets that very predominantly stick out of the normal natural greens that grow here. Actually, you can make a nature check to see maybe if you know what these violets are. Nature. Yeah, you would know these to be known as violet virtue lilies. And with your 15 history check, you know that the reason why they are called virtue lilies specifically is because they are often used to associate with the son of virtue, which is one of the sons of the Lightkeeper known as Aris Valis, which is, like I said, one of the Fae spirits that exist inside of the large spectrum of spirits of Faes. in the same realm that he's probably a brother of Delis Solis, who is the son of memory, after which the city around the Zephycus Archives was named. And you know that his color that is commonly associated with him is violet. So most likely if there's a shrine around here, which you would probably assume now is dedicated to the Son of Virtue. Now, usually there's always two, as you know. There's always the one of the sons and the one of the heralds, but you don't see any signs of which herald might be also associated with the shrine. If there is one, but you don't seem to be finding that association yet. Only the violet things. Actually, I will write down the name so you can write it down if you wish to.
Thank you. I was gonna ask.
Yeah. So you have this, and then the violet virtue lilies, which he is commonly associated with. Well, no crazy spellings, just normal English words. Eric, you're looking at Miss Vashina, and she seems to be using, rather small tools, and she is just using like hammers, a few little pikes, and just general archaeological tool sets. Nothing that seems to be too obscene, but they seem to be very well crafted. Obviously, you can see that some of the tips are made with a very fine steel. Some even have, like, as she kind of takes out little, what's it called, like carving knives. The end of the blade seem to be kind of made with diamond to have a very precise cut. So these definitely seem like tools that are, made for very fine work. As she's kind of looking at one of these stone tablets, out of which this road is made out of, or this walkway is made out of, and it seems to be like just slowly carving out things, kind of to try and get the dirt away. She also has like a number of different brushes that you use, various sizes, some smaller ones, some bigger ones, that she uses to kind of brush off some of the dust and then to kind of see the details without trying to disturb any of the actual structure itself. So very fine working details. Very different tool set from what you're used to. You're, used to, like putting things together. Her is more to take things apart, but in a very minute way and delicate way, as she's kind of just starting to, and you can just always hear occasional interesting. As she's kind of working, that she's probably also like doing some stuff in her head. And then coming to Fiera, probably also taking out your tool set and then starting to,
Yeah, I grab all my stuff from Eric and brushes and roll up my sleeves, get ready to work.
Yeah, after feeling a bit useless the last 2 days, not having done much, I think now you can finally feel like you can get your hands onto something. And as you're kind of looking around, the first thing you usually do is kind of get a macroscope of everything before you, start digging. First thing,
like a virtual map in my head.
Yeah, exactly. The first thing you kind of notice is that they're at the corners of where the tree meets the earth is probably a spot where there can potentially be a lot of hidden stuff, since kind of nature hides a lot of it, but you also know that that might be a spot where there isn't as much structural thing, since a tree was able to grow out of it. The first thing you notice, however, as you go to the spot, was the assumption that, okay, here probably isn't as much like stone structure, maybe you can find some more fine stuff. You realize as you kind of investigating and kind of, discerning what the tree is and what the stone is. As you look at the stone very closely, you notice it's also somewhat made out of wood, which is kind of a bit off-putting. Like, okay, you touch the stone, the cobblestone surface, and it feels like stone, but as you kind of look at the structure itself and what the surface texture is, you can see it's very similar to bark, and you realize that the quote-unquote stone tiles are just formed like that, but are actually made out of a very special bark. What kind of bark it is, you don't really know. Maybe it has been magically placed like that, but it seems to have been grown naturally and not handmade, even though it looks like it, as you can investigate that. And as you kind of looking next to the tree and stuff like that, you kind of look under a little patch of moss, and there you can find a very small, what looks to be like a little bit of glass that's just lying there. Just a tiny bit of glass, kind of like a circle of glass, just kind of that has been kept safe between two patches of moss and was preserved that way, even over the long eons of time. As you kind of gently pick it up, and it's a very, very fine piece of glass. And as you kind of look through to it, it's almost like, the light that goes through it kind of focuses it extremely closely, and you can use it as you kind of look through it. It's almost like a spyglass, but just enhanced much more significantly than the normal ones you're used to. So it seems to have a very strong focus property on it from an immediate glance.
Interesting. Does it look like it could fit in like glasses, or like fit better in like a spyglass because it's circular?
It's it depends how you make the frame. You could do whatever you want with it. It's just a piece of glass that you have found that seems to be well at channeling or focusing things.
Okay. I guess I'll probably just wrap it in parchment and just store it for now.
Yeah. As you kind of looking around bit by bit, the next thing you notice is there are a lot of you find this kind of weird textured net is the only way I can describe it. And as you kind of get closer to it and get a feel for it, you can see that there are a few patterns on it, and you notice, oh, it's not like a net, there aren't like holes in it. It looks more like skin, as if something, and you quickly notice like a large snake had recently just skinned itself, and it's at that moment you also hear above your head
Oh man.
and as you kind of slowly look up, you can just see this ginormous anaconda looking snake kind of slowly coming down. And Arya, with your passive perception, you can see also that above Fiera, maybe like 15 feet or so, a coiling snake is starting to extend towards her, as you then also notice behind you as you notice a second one that has been approaching underneath one of the trees coming out. You haven't found any traps, but it seems like things were waiting here. That's where we're going to end today's episode. As there are a few snakes. A few hungry snakes that want to eat a few archaeologists.
Yep, we're in the jungle.
Okay. That is session 25. You survived successfully, meaning you are doing better than the TPK. Oh, campaign 1. So congratulations. I am so proud of you.
Good job, team.
We made it to episode 25 and through.
Yep. Official record holders for yourself, I guess.
Ooh. Yeah, this one feels tougher too. Feels tough.
It's
Yeah.
tougher in a different way.
In a very different way, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
The other one was more worrying about demons attacking every 5 seconds.
Yes, 100%.
Which one is more stressful?
They have their own ups
Okay.
and downs, I
Yeah,
think.
it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And up here is 12 out of 10, so
Yeah, there's been a bit of a discrepancy on opinions running through this party at the moment, which, you know, a little bit of group drama is interesting to me.
The peace clerics trying to keep the peace between everyone.
yep.
I still maintain it's only been like 12 days.
Yeah. Yeah, no time for a break though. Can't just chill.
The sense of urgency truly is very different. Yes, but it has now officially been 1 VOS since the meeting, if I counted my days correctly.
Wow. Jeez. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
really don't know each other that long.
No.
Well, good thing we left though.
Which is why insight check Fiera on moments.
Man, you
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
yeah, you really fucked up both of them, which
I
Yep.
know, something I'm supposed to be good at.
You're
Right.
healing. You're still healing.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
your mind hasn't fully recuperated yet. Well, you're now in some ruins, so you don't have to care about much what is going on in the outside world. Don't have to worry that
That's
the
true.
world is ending, cities are being occupied, you know.
Oh god. Yeah, I have no idea what to do now. Do I go home? Do I go to souvenir? I don't know.
You finally made it to a ruin, and now you want to go home.
I know. I'm literally an archaeologist. Get to a ruin that hasn't been, checked out. But my home's under attack. Your guys' home is under attack.
Everyone is under
My
attack.
my home is fine.
Yeah.
Pirate's home is
well,
under attack.
there you go. Yeah, by very different people too. I'm getting attacked by Tellus. You guys are getting attacked by my people. Oh my god. It's literally just everybody attacking each other in a circle.
It's the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, the spirit.
Okay,
Exactly.
It's tough to say, your cat looks very comfortable.
Oh.
He is purring his life away.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't
Get comfy.
have to deal with the stress
He's
of
just
war.
passed out in the right there.
I can't
Yeah.
see your dog because it's just white.
Yeah, he's passed out.
There's a pillow. Yes.
I mean, Felicia has been frozen for me with a very concerned face for the past 20 minutes or so.
Perfect.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're fine. It's just on her end, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
It's my phone has been freezing people around for no reason.
Mm,
Oh,
yeah. Limited bandwidth, people. That's what it will do.
Hopefully next week it's all sorted.
Oh man, that'd be pretty
Yeah.
dope. That'd be
yeah,
pretty
well, we
dope.
can play next week.
Yes, man. With my setup, not having 3 monitors is a pain in the ass. I will say I have to switch between so many screens all the time. I'm like, but I managed, and I can manage another week.
Yeah.
Yes. So we will see y'all back in 1 week for episode number 26. Until then, we're gonna say goodbye. So, folks,
Bye.
bye.